Hold up. Alrighty, everything good. I'm just making sure the audio is good. If it is, welcome to the third episode of Coaster Time. And if you are new, how these live streams work pretty much is I basically go through various different segments such as news, trivia, Q&A discussions, and a lot more that you, the viewers, can participate in many of these segments. So today, for the first time, as I mentioned, I have my first guest, which is Jace from 808 Coaster Life. So if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, that'd be great.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Jace, and I own and operate the YouTube channel 808 Coaster Life. I try my best to post quality coaster videos every 1 to 2 weeks, ranging from countdowns to 5 reasons why to Planet Coaster. And I also run an Instagram account. You can find me at 808 Coaster Life. I try to post more behind the scenes footage on that, as well as some updates, but the majority of updates can also be found on my community tab. I'm a coaster enthusiast from Hawaii. Yeah, that's new. My coaster count is 20. I have no home park, and my favorite coaster I've ridden to date is Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm, and it is an honor to be your first guest.
That's awesome. His links, I have his channel link and his Instagram link in the description. So if you haven't subscribed to him yet, definitely make sure to. And with that said, we'll head into the news. And before I get into the news, obviously this week was it was very different, I guess I'll say. And of course, there were two unfortunate events in the coaster community that happened this week. If you're on Instagram, you've probably heard about these a lot, but of course, the first one being the Chad Miller from Ohio Valley Coasters sexual harassment situation. Obviously, that's just not something that should happen. And the other event that happened this week was the passing of well-known enthusiast and construction worker for rides, including RMC, Jake Kaminsky. He tragically passed away this week while doing maintenance. So I have already released a statement through a community post and gave my thoughts on those events. So if you are wondering what my thoughts were, those are there. And that is why I pretty much won't be discussing or answering any questions related to this during the stream, because I want to keep this more, I guess, I'm trying to find the right word here. I guess more upbeat, like more uplifting, I guess, not really something that I guess is too tragic, too depressing. I want to keep a good mood here, so I won't be discussing that here. With all of that said, let's dive straight into the news. And the first pretty much news thing, this came out last week, but Cascabel 2.0, this is the Schwarzkopf shuttle loop that was from La Feria Chapultepec. This ride is on sale for $490,000. So you can look it up on the used rides website. But yeah, it is there for $490,000, which is pretty crazy, actually. Too bad they can't keep it, but I guess that's just kind of how things are. In other news, the Zamperla Nebulaz pieces, they were found at Adventuredome in Nevada, which was pretty surprising to hear. So it appears that they will be adding a Zamperla Nebulaz next year. This is a flat ride that was revealed, I believe, like an IAPA or two ago. And I believe they actually have one at Luna Park. So it's a very interesting looking ride for sure. It's cool that we're going to see more of these. The next thing we have here is that Racing, the Zierer Flitzer coaster, a pretty much dying coaster model. This one at Bakken is closing for good. Pretty unfortunate. I've actually heard mostly good reviews on these models. Well, outside of Taylor from Coaster Studios, but other than that, I've heard some pretty good reviews for this model. So unfortunate to hear about that. Vipere, it may get delayed until 2022. This one being, of course, at Ronde, the relocated Intamin Zack spin from Six Flags Magic Mountain. I've ridden it. It was not fun. And yeah, it might open in 2022, which is unfortunate, but to be honest, not entirely that surprising considering it's Ronde. So that's just kind of how it is, I guess. Also, another ride, I guess we had a few rides that opened this week, but one of them was the Flying Bobs at Indiana Beach. It opened, I believe it was last Saturday. This is a new Flying Bobs or Matterhorn style flat ride that was relocated from Coney Island in Cincinnati, Ohio. So that's pretty interesting. And then also Iron Gwazi, Icebreaker, and I forgot to put in here, but Emperor, because we just got the news this morning, are all set to open in 2021. I believe Iron Gwazi and Icebreaker are set to open in spring. That's what's on the website. I heard that Emperor was opening in 2021. I don't know if they said spring or what, because I literally learned that like 20 minutes before the stream started. So yeah, but they're all set to open next year, pretty much to be expected. And I'll let you, Jace, take it away with this next one.
Okay, so PortAventura is partnering up with soccer/football league La Liga to bring a new 40 million euro attraction themed to La Liga, as well as a 100 million euro expansion, which is an entire theme park themed to soccer alongside PortAventura and Ferrari Land. I'm not sure if the 40 million euro attraction will be in the new theme park, but I'll assume so. And I'm very excited about this because my brother and my dad are big soccer fans and they watch La Liga a lot. So maybe that might convince them to, take me over to PortAventura. I don't know how common that will be or how likely, but it is a possibility.
It is definitely a very interesting and cool looking addition. So definitely something I'll have to keep my eye on for the future. Just pretty interesting. Didn't expect to hear that. White Lightning is getting GCI steel track put in one of its sections. It actually has already been put in. I believe they were testing it like yesterday or sometime recently. I don't believe it's opened yet, but I could be wrong on that. But that is something interesting. I guess it is the first true hybrid coaster in Florida since Iron Gwazi hasn't opened yet. So that's kind of interesting. And Jace, I'll let you take this one as well.
Okay, so Intamin has rebranded their website and the site includes some new concepts. So basically, they rebranded it so it made it more clear what the names of the new models are and I guess the older models in general. The flyers that were, or the PDFs that you can download, some of them include, or at least in general, there were at least 4 new layouts released. We'll talk more about this later. But I guess the biggest thing I noticed is that Intamin is now calling their Megalite model the Ultra Coaster. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, I kind of thought that name was a little weird. I was kind of like, I like Megalite better, but all right. I guess they just like to go with that. I'm still going to be calling him a Megalite, but they can call it whatever they want, I guess. The next thing we have is that Fly at Phantasialand finally soft opened. Pretty surprising. I guess not really. I kind of mentioned, if you watch my last stream, I did say that the rumored date was the 18th that it would open. It ended up opening on the 17th, so I was close, but hardly anyone was really reporting on it. So kind of a win there for me to be able to kind of talk about that before a lot of people mentioned it. But yeah, finally soft open. We do not have a POV yet, as far as I'm aware. They are very strict on phones. They have metal detectors before you go into the ride, but the coaster looks really fantastic from the off-ride views. The reviews are very good for it, and the entire area of Rookburg also looks pretty nice. So
I agree.
yeah, pretty incredible to see that. And also another new addition. Silverwood has announced their new attraction, Stunt Pilot, which will be a new RMC Raptor. And the crazy thing about this ride is, you know how Railblazer and Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster, they have 8 cars on their one train, I guess. Well, this one will have 10 cars. It will have the same layout as Railblazer, but with 10 cars. So the back row is going to be like ridiculous on that thing. I can't even imagine. That's going to be like so fun to ride. The airtime is going to be absolutely brutal, but I'm all in for it. I mean, I just can't wait to ride that thing whenever I get the chance. That looks absolutely insane and a great addition for Silverwood overall. It's like pretty much the addition a lot of enthusiasts have been rooting for, and we finally got it. And it's honestly better than we would have expected because, like I said, 10 cars, like that's awesome. And it will have 2 trains, the first coaster to have 2 trains at Silverwood. That's another win. I guess in other news, this one's a little less, I guess it's unfortunate. IX Indoor Amusement Park in Cleveland is closing for good. This, I believe, was only open at certain times of the year. It is sad to hear about this, but at the same time, this was a park that I myself was probably never going to go to. But they did have some neat looking flat rides. Hopefully, most of their rides are able to get relocated. But still, pretty sad loss, I guess. Just because like a lot of people probably went to this park and they'll be sad that it's they can't really go any longer. So that is a little sad. I did not put anything here in terms of like the banners, but the Wallaby Belgium Mega Coaster, the track work has been completed. That I believe was also kind of released within the last like 24 hours. So I just didn't have the time to put it in here. But yes, the track work has been completed for that ride pretty quick, actually. It's pretty incredible how quick they were able to do that. And then the last thing is there's a rumor that Hershey Park is bringing back 3 old attractions in 2021. I believe now there's a few sources that are kind of leading into this. I believe Screamscape, they may have hinted at it. And then also the Hershey Addict, he was talking to some people who worked at Hershey Park. If you don't know, he goes to Hershey Park all the time. And the rumor is right now is that Hershey Park next year, they will be bringing back their Husk Condor Flying Falcon, which that's pretty incredible. That looks like a really cool flat ride. There's not very many in the US, so that's awesome that it's going to come back. And then they're going to bring back 2 former kids attractions, the miniature train, which if you've never seen it, it looks kind of weird. It's just basically like this miniature like train that just goes around, but the train is like so tiny. But it looks fun for little kids. And then they have this thing called a dinosaur go round they got rid of. It's basically like I think it's kind of like a mini Dumbo ride, but like really tiny. But it has like dinosaur like sort of themed cars, or I guess vehicles. And that's pretty much that ride. So apparently those 3 are rumored to be coming back. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So now, the next thing we're going to be doing is the quiz. And, I'll give you guys like we'll say, I guess about 10 minutes to get in. You go to myquiz.org and type in this code. And then that's pretty much that. And until then, you guys can ask us questions, or if, you, Jace, would like to, I guess, introduce or talk about anything, you can do that right now as well. So
Okay. It's not much, but I will say for the IX Indoor Amusement Park, I haven't seen much of it, but they had a zipper, and I'm a very big fan of zippers, so that's pretty unfortunate. But I guess it really just looks like a fair, and I guess like I don't know. Probably won't be too big of a loss, but I guess like people who do like to go there, yeah, it will be a pretty tragic loss for them.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it can't be too bad because I mean, Cleveland, it's like an hour away from Cedar Point. So, I mean, it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's not like they're losing like the only park around there. And they even have like the little like Memphis Kiddie Park, but still, I mean, it seemed like they had some pretty nice flat rides there. So that is a little unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'm going to do the quiz. I did not look at the quiz, so I'm not going to have any advantages.
Yeah. Oh, someone was asking, Dagan Barnes asked, why did Bakken close? Bakken is not closing. It's Racer, the Zierer Flitzer is closing. Bakken, the park, is not closing. That would be very tragic because it's the oldest operating park in the entire world. But no, it is not closing. One of their coasters is, though. So that's that. Any other questions? Like I said, this is Q&A. And in about, I'll say, like, I guess now 8 minutes from now, we'll start the quiz.
Any other questions?
And these can be for either one of us or both of us. I guess that's the other thing, because obviously I haven't had Jason here before. So if you have questions just for him, that's perfectly fine. If you have questions just for me, that's also fine. And if you have a question for both of us, that's also perfect. So yeah.
Also, I just want to say Rookburg looks insane. Like when you go into Klugheim, you see Terran go like everywhere. But that's a sit-down coaster, so it's sort of going to be like lower on the ground. Since this is a flying coaster, the track is going to be above you now, so it's going to be even more immersive. That's why I find it really cool.
Oh, we do have another. What coaster should go to PortAventura for the new La Liga land or park, I guess? I don't know. There wasn't really anything in the plans for a new coaster, and I don't know what space they would have to work with. But I guess if you're asking what coaster could or should go in there, honestly, that's kind of tough. I mean, a spinning coaster, I feel like kind of would be kind of funny, like because it's a soccer themed park. That'd be something. A mock extreme spinner, that'd be sick. I'd love that.
I like that
So
idea.
that would be my pick, I guess.
I would pick. Oh, the funny thing is, I saw someone comment this about this topic. What if there was a Messi versus Ronaldo themed dueling coaster?
Oh my god.
That would be amazing.
That would be nice. I don't know that they would. I don't know if they would approve though. It's like, oh, this. What if they like argue? It's like, wait, you gave this guy. You gave one of them like the much better layout. So,
Oh,
or
yeah,
one
that would
plus
be.
intense or something. I don't know, but that'd be funny. That'd be awesome to see. I'd love that. Another question from Coaster Mania. Best ride experience from both of us. Basically, Steel Vengeance Night Ride I had last year. Just really incredible. Airtime was amazing. You couldn't like there was still light, but you could actually it was harder to keep track of what elements were coming next. So that was like really awesome. It felt a lot more intense than it did earlier in the day and was running the best it had been. So that's my, I guess, best ride experience.
My best ride experience is a night ride as well, but this time it's on Ghost Rider. In the back row. The drop was incredible. I got whipped down the drop. The first turn, underrated. Like the laterals are insane. And plus the picture, the on-ride picture, since it's like pitch black or like nearly pitch black, it like flashes. It's intense. And just the airtime in general and like the whip, it's all like way more intense in the back row at night.
I love my night rides. It's just for a lot of coasters, it's the best way to experience it, in my opinion, unless it's indoors, because then it doesn't matter. But yeah. Oh, someone asked, do we think that ejector hang time could be a thing? I kind of joked, I think, with I forget who I mentioned this to, but I kind of joked like, what if they put like an airtime hill but on an inversion? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it could be a thing, but it'd be interesting to see someone like try something like that.
I actually like tried building like an ejector loop in Planet Coaster. So like it goes upside down and then has like a little bunny hop before completing the loop. And I tried to make the airtime like around -1 Gs or something like that. It was interesting for sure, but I don't know if it's going to be possible though.
Yeah, I mean, it would be tough, but I'd love to see it. Petition to give Hawaii a giga for 808 Coaster Life.
Yes, please. I would love that.
That'd be
Except that would never happen.
amazing. What's our favorite video game? I don't know. I'll be honest, I play video games a lot less than I used to, which kind of
Me
seems
too.
strange, but and I don't really play most of the coaster games, so those would never be up there. But I guess I'm just gonna go off of like nostalgia or something, I guess, because I guess I do like Smash Ultimate. I think I mentioned that in the past. But when I was a kid, like my childhood game was Mario Kart Wii, just because I had like so many memories just playing with people and friends and all of that. So Mario Kart Wii, just for I guess nostalgia reasons, which that's kind of sad to say, considering it's not even. I guess it's like actually it's 12 years old now. Gosh dang. Yeah, Mario Kart Wii, I guess.
Okay, so my favorite coaster game, because I did try out a few, four exactly. My favorite definitely has to be Planet Coaster. There is still flaws, like it's a very power intensive or power needing game. But besides that, favorite game overall has to be Minecraft. Like I always come back to the game like at random times, and it's still fun to play, especially with the new updates. It makes the game much more versatile.
I just realized I'm gonna have to give you guys maybe a bit of extra time because I realized that the quiz thing, the question thing, got cut off, so you guys couldn't see the code while I put up the actual comments. So I'm gonna not put up the comments for right now, but I guess I'll give you guys like another 3 minutes, I guess, to get on the quiz, which will be on myquiz.org, and like you can see the code right here. Someone asked favorite GP quotes. Oh, like that I've heard. I mean, I don't have a list. I don't even think I have an actual, like, I've heard people say that like Superman Escape from Krypton's like the tallest coaster on the planet, but you know, that's kind of basic. But I remember one time, I think I may have mentioned this already in a stream. Hopefully I haven't mentioned it multiple times, but there was this one time where this guy, I was at Not Scary Farm. I think it was like the guy next to me, I think in the row in front of me, because I was going back row on Montezuma's Revenge. I guess the guy didn't know exactly what he was riding, and then he saw the trains and he saw that it had a lap bar. And like someone told me like, yeah, it has a lap bar and it goes upside down, and he left. So that's just kind of sad.
Okay, so I don't really have a good quote that was said in like real life, but on the internet, this was on a Takabisha POV. I found in the comments someone saying the steepest roller coaster is actually called the Cannibal in the United States in a state called Utah, where you have to get to the top of an elevator. He put elevator in quotes, that takes the car to a drop that's more than 250 feet above sea level. You should do your studying before you upload a video praising another coaster.
Oh my God. I mean, I guess at the time it was the steepest in the US, maybe, but I just that's just unfortunate. Although imagine a coaster where you actually have to take up like a 200-foot tall elevator to get on the ride. I want to see that now. Although that's kind of Helix, except it's escalates. I mean, it's not that tall, but you have to go like a long way to actually get up there.
That's for sure.
Yeah. I guess alrighty. So I guess I'll start the quiz right now. Actually, I probably should screen share it first. That way, so you guys can see it. You don't need to see our screen for this at all. In fact, don't answer the questions based off the screen because it's delayed. But yeah, we're gonna start that right now. So 3, 2, 1. Well, I guess it does have for me, so that was pointless. But what year did Canada's Wonderland first open? That is the question. What year did Canada's Wonderland first open? And if you're coming in late, you can still get in here on the myquiz.org. Just put in the code. But it's still pretty early, so if you come in a little late, it's not the end of the world. Alrighty, I'm kind of curious. I'm just curious if people will get this one right or not.
Oh.
1981. Yes, that is the opening year. Well, you were only 10 years off, so I mean, it was a one, but that's yeah. The next question is, what was or is the name of the first B&M coaster to ever be built in Asia? This one, it might be a little tricky for some people. Actually, it probably is. This one's pretty difficult.
I'm probably gonna get this wrong.
Yeah, this one's pretty hard.
Knew it. I actually thought about Diablo.
Oh wait, you got it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Diablo is the oldest, and it's still operating, so that's pretty cool. The next question is, what was or is the name of the first coaster to ever open at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom? I'll say that again. What was or is the name of the first coaster to ever open at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom? So, I actually, even though I've been here, I actually didn't know this until very recently. So, and it surprised me, I'll say that. I mean, sort of, I guess I'll say. The correct answer was Boomerang Coast to Coaster. It was the first to open. I believe Roadrunner Express actually opened the same year, but a few months later. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, how many roller coasters currently operate at Djurs Sommerland, which is a park in Denmark? This is a park with Piraten, if you don't know it for any other reason. Yeah. And also, don't use RCDB. However, I don't know if, for some of these, I don't know if you would have time. But yeah.
Oh,
Correct
wow.
answer is 7.
What coaster did I miss?
I believe they have 2 Zero Force coasters. So.
Oh, okay.
The next question is, what year was PTC founded in? Fun fact, I was going to use the logo until I realized it actually had the year on it. I actually like almost put it in. I was like, uh-oh, nope. We ain't doing that.
I'll assume that they're pretty old.
Yeah, they're pretty old. I mean, all these answers, they would have to be pretty old.
Oh, I was gonna.
Oh, no one got it right. Thank God I didn't put in the logo. But yeah, Badger State coasters with a commanding lead, and this week he is not doing multiple accounts.
Great job.
Actually, I need to give the shout outs. For this week, it looks like we had less people, so I guess I'll just do top person. Also, we don't have Millennium Force Man, so I don't feel as bad doing the top person. But the next question is, what is the oldest operating PTC coaster? Another one that is relatively difficult, I think. But we'll see how this one unfolds. Yeah, man, I asked some tough questions this week. I guess I'll say that. Yeah, definitely. Pretty tough.
I guess Wild One was originally built by PTC.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the tallest coaster that is under 300 feet in height, excluding Orion? Because I know some of you people would put that in, but excluding Orion.
Oh, that's gonna stir up some debate.
Well, you see, I didn't call it like a Giga or a Hyper, so maybe not. Maybe it won't be as bad.
Oh, I guess it still remains the record. Okay.
Yep, Thunder Dolphin. If you were doing it by height of the drop, it would not be, but it's still, yep. How tall is Furious Baco? Yeah, I feel bad. I think I made these way too hard now looking back at it. Sometimes I'm like, these aren't too bad, and then like when you guys are actually answering it, I'm like, oh shoot. Yeah, this may have been too much. And you guys are going to be surprised with this one, I think. 46 feet tall. It goes at 83.9 miles per hour, so it's actually the fastest coaster under 100 miles per hour, and it's under 50 feet tall, which is insane.
That's like coaster height.
They would benefit from some new restraints, though, so they would really need that. What is the oldest operating Mauer coaster in North America? That is our next question. My God, what was I thinking when I did this? I just realized like some of these are impossible. So
you should make the next Taylor prank.
Oh my God. Dude, I don't even think Taylor would get these, like most of these right. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that, but oh well. What country is Reversion based in? I may have butchered that, but yeah. Reversion. They made Primeval Whirl, which is now dead, but they made a few other coasters, so that's probably their most well-known one, for better or for worse. It's just what it is. Yeah. What country are they based in?
I think I'm pretty sure about my answer. I may be very wrong. Ooh, yay.
Hey, everyone got it right. I'm happy about that. I love that. I thought someone would put in Italy or something, but good to see that didn't happen. How fast is Flying Dinosaur at Universal Studios Japan? I feel like this one's one of the easier ones. I feel like. But I would say why, but I don't want to give it away. Because if I said it, it would give it away. If you know about a certain statistic, you might know what this is. This one is 62 miles per hour. If you don't know, this and Tatsu share the same top speed. So if you knew Tatsu's, you know Flying Dinosaur.
Oh, wow. That's like Yukon Striker and Valraven having the same height.
Yeah. How tall is Ejanika?
Okay, I think
there's one answer in here that if someone answers, oh my god, I put one of them in here just for no reason. This one's a pretty tough question, but there's one answer that I'm just like, I hope someone picks it. That'd be awesome. Dang it.
Ajanika, the near Giga Coaster.
249 feet tall. I put 270 feet. I was hoping someone would pick that. That'd be funny. What year did Expedition GeForce first open? Now, if you know your years, this will be an easy one. If you don't, it's tough. Honestly, I didn't know this one before I actually looked into it.
I'm not very good with dates.
There was one year that I thought it was, and it wasn't. So I'll just say that. This one's pretty tough. And 2001. Yep, it opened in 2001. So it looks like a lot of you know your years pretty much. But I actually thought it opened in 2003 before I looked into it. What was the second coaster ever built by Aerodynamics? And no, it's not the one in the picture.
That was the first one.
Yes.
Oh, that's hard. Okay, I got it, I think.
Alrighty, this one, I don't know if it was easy or hard. I guess I'll figure it out. It's definitely not Cedar Creek, I'll say that much. Runaway Mine Train at Six Flags Over Texas. Yep, that was the second one ever built. Cedar Creek was like, I don't even think it was like one of the first three. I think I just put that in there because it would be recognizable. And then what year was Walt Disney born in? I know this isn't really coaster. I mean, it sort of is coaster enthusiast related, sort of not. But I was like, all right, well, I'll put it in. I need more Disney questions anyways. I probably should. So, yeah. This one's tough.
Next trivia. What year was Ed Hart born in?
Oh, God. 1901.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
I never knew he was born that long ago.
Yeah. All right. So in first place, we have Badger State Coasters, who actually wins it for real this time and actually will earn a shout out. I will get that out there. I know I kind of forgot about it, but I will get it out there this week. Train Crazy Plays is in second, and Coas is in third. So good scores there, actually. 64, 50, 346. And Coaster Mania right behind with 45. 808 Coaster Life with 32. And Dagan Barnes, I assume you like tried to join in, like really lay in. Yeah. So that is the quiz. And with that said, and if I can get the screens back to normal, we'll go into our next thing, which is the YouTube shoutouts that for the channels that either reach milestones or are very close. So first off, we have Amusement Labs, who has reached 25,000 subscribers, seemingly out of nowhere. I think he went like from 19 to like 25K, like so quick. Honestly, I've seen a few of his videos here and there, but I need to watch more of his videos, is I guess what I'm trying to say. I put his channel link in a description, and also in the chat right now. So pretty cool channel from what I've seen. And also, I didn't even know this until like very recently, but Theme Park Media has reached 8,000 subs. It seems like whenever he releases a video, he gets a ton of subs. So great for him. Even though now he doesn't release videos all that often, but I mean, I guess I'm in the same boat. Although I don't usually go on 2-month hiatuses, so that's but I can understand why he did. He had a lot of stuff going on with like trips and things of that sort. But yeah, Theme Park Media, great channel and great podcast he has, Talking Trimless. If you haven't listened to that,
my favorite podcast ever.
It's great. And then for channels that are close to reaching their milestones, we have Coaster Daddy, who is last time I checked, he was less than 30 subs away from 4K. It's entirely possible that he is closer at this point, and I just didn't. I just didn't have the time to put it in. But another great channel and a potential future guest. We'll have to wait and see on that. But potentially could be a future guest. And another channel that if you listen to the Talking Trimless podcast, you'll hear about him a lot. Etai Coaster Fanatic. But keeping everything real, his channel is really good. I enjoy his content. He is less than 70 subscribers away from 2K. So if you aren't subscribed to him, definitely make sure to. His channel is pretty good, in my opinion. So
honestly, I'm kind of surprised that his channel is close to 2,000 because I remember me and him reached 1K about the same time, more or less.
Yeah.
But then like he jumped a lot. Well, I'm chilling.
The 2021 coasters video definitely helped. You know, I was kind of mad because I was like kind of thinking about, oh, you know what? Maybe this is something I'll do. I'll do one toward the end of the year because after looking into it, he missed a lot of them. And I mean, his video was still great, but like, he didn't mention like quite a few of the possible ones left over from like 2020, like the SNS, I think, air launch coaster that had like the 10 elements. I don't know if he included Barracuda either. There's like a few that he didn't put in. So I'm not trying to steal his ideas at all, but I mean, I was thinking about doing it, but I am planning on doing like kind of a video like that toward the end of the year when we have more of a concrete idea of what will and what won't open. I'm sure there's still some things I'm going to be wrong about, but you know, got to try, I guess. And with all of that said, I guess our next thing, we have another Q&A session. So if you have any questions for me or Jace or for both of us, you can ask away right now. We'll do that for about the next 10 minutes. Yeah. Oh yeah, he forgot to include Abyssus. Yeah, people people gave him a lot of flack for that one.
I guess it was announced pretty recently, like at least like right before he posted the video.
Well, yeah, but it was still like I think he put in a lot of things that were either like potentially 2021, and that's why people kind of gave him grief on that. But yeah, yeah, I didn't mean to go talk about his channel that much, but that's I guess what we've come to. Have us two ever met? Oh, like physically? No, we have not, unfortunately. I was like thinking, are you talking about me and Jace or me and Etai? Neither one. Neither one. Only coaster enthusiast I've ever met in person is weirdly enough Taylor Bybee from Coaster Studios. So that, which is like really weird. I've also seen Drew from Parks Bros, but I was unable to meet him because they were doing something. But yeah.
Well, I guess it's kind of obvious I haven't met any enthusiast yet. Hopefully that'll change soon, but considering the current situation, I don't know if that's anytime soon.
Yeah, it'd be tough here in California and well in Hawaii because you don't have really any coasters, so or permanent coasters, I should say, because you still have Jungle Twist, right?
Jungle Twist.
Jungle Twist, most legendary coaster ever. What do we think will open first, Jersey Devil or Stunt Pilot? You know what? If I had to put my bets, I'm putting my bets on Stunt Pilot. I honestly, they already broke ground on it. So like, I mean, they could. I would guess Stunt Pilot. Honestly, I wonder what will be better, Stunt Pilot or Jersey Devil, just because of that insane back row it's going to have with those 10 cars. I mean, that's going to be sick. What do you think?
I'd say it's very valid to think that Stunt Pilot will open before Jersey Devil. We'll see though. Jersey Devil is progressing a lot. Like there's some great progress on that. But also I feel like they're gonna I don't know. I guess construction on Stun Pilot will also go very quickly because Raptors, I guess, are supposed to be like easier to construct. I was about to say destruct. I'm like, whoa. I hope that never
They probably
happens.
would be easier though because it's single rail. I mean, that's kind of morbid, but yeah, I mean that is kind of true. Is Orion a giga in both of your opinions? Okay, so for me, I see it as a giga. A few winners from now, will it be a giga? Probably not, but I mean, I'm still gonna consider it. So yeah.
I consider it a giga for simply one reason, and that's that everyone considers Apollo's Chariot a hyper because it has a 200-foot drop. So I guess like hypers or gigas, they have to have the height or drop is at a certain height.
Pretty much what I agree with. But like I said, give it a few winners, ain't gonna be that 301 feet anymore.
Oh yeah.
Do either of us play Roblox? I've never played Roblox, so
Okay, I don't play it consistently. Like I actually don't really like playing it, but in order to satisfy my little brother, he likes me playing Roblox with him. And so I did play Theme Park Tycoon. I was actually impressed by it, but I find it kind of boring after a while. And I guess also I didn't like it because like whenever I play, it seems like all of the other like players around me don't know how to build coasters. It's kind of cringy, I'll be honest.
that is unfortunate. But I mean, if you're playing with your brother, that makes sense. I've played games with my brother in the past, so yeah. Although usually I think Lego Star Wars is big, but I actually like that game, so yeah. Oh, how do I like the name? How do we like the name Stunt Pilot? You know what? It's if you actually think about it, because how they're connecting it back to like the past, how they used to have air shows and whatnot. I think it's actually a pretty cool name. And maybe what's that park called? Powerland, the one in Finland. Hey, maybe they should take a few notes and they learn that you can have a coaster themed to planes or even like pit special planes, and it doesn't have to be called pit special. So automatically that makes the name 10 out of 10. But even outside of that, I think it's a great name. I mean, it fits. I think it fits the coaster, the experience it gives. Maybe it's not the most catchy name ever, but I like it. What do you think?
I agree. It's a great name. Even if it doesn't have like too much theming or like let's say it doesn't have a storyline at all, I still think it's an amazing name. It fits the ride a lot because like most stunt pilots, there would be like a single person and they would do like crazy maneuvers like what you would see on the Raptors. So yeah, I think it's a perfect name for an RMC Raptor.
Yeah, I would have to agree 100% on that. How is school going? School's been all right. I've been doing a lot better since the headache I had way back when. But yeah, it's been doing solid. I mean, I may have tried to change classes, but outside of that, I've been growing on the class that I was trying to change out of, so that's good. I think it's a good thing that I'm going to stay in there. So overall, it's been pretty good. My grades are good. It hasn't, obviously the social aspect has been kind of an oof, but on the bright side, I've been actually able to talk to like people from other schools, and actually I'm planning to maybe try to talk to other people from like different school districts, because on certain days I have this huge break. So even though our lunches don't line up, because of this whole thing, we can talk to each other now. So it's there are some benefits to it. So overall, pretty good.
So my grades are good, but it is a lot of work. I'm in my junior year right now.
Yeah.
I my Q&A that I was supposed to release today, it got delayed because of schoolwork. So yeah, I'll try figure out how to like have a consistent weekly upload. But right now, I guess school always has priority over YouTube, unfortunately. But I will try my best.
Yeah, I'll go into more of my upload schedule later, but I will mention think weekly videos, it's just kind of impossible. However, it might still be possible for me to do upload, live stream, upload, live. I think that might work for me. I think that could work pretty well. One video every 2 weeks. I think that would work. That could work. So yeah. Let's see. What else we have here? For questions.
I agree with Coaster Mania. There are certain Planco YouTubers that don't know how to make coasters, and they're like the biggest Planet Coaster YouTubers. So it's kind of irritating, especially Pew Pew Pew. If you ever watch him, he's the one that makes like these so like unrealistic, obscure coasters. Like, it's pretty insane. And plus, they're not even that like the layouts aren't too good.
A question for you: how do you like the name Riddler Mindbender?
They could take Riddler out. I mean, Mindbender was good on its own. Even if they called it Mindbender but still have a Riddler theme, I think it would still work. Like Steel Curtain, like it's not called like the Steelers coaster or anything, but it still has a Steelers theme. And I mean, people, not a lot, or like some people don't like the name Steel Curtain, but at least the theme is good. So yeah, I think they should take out Riddler, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I think they could have like went with the theme, but just kept it Mindbender. I'd be totally on board with that. We'll see if I'm on board with those premiere trains that might be coming. I hope they don't ruin the ride. I have my doubts. Just considering the other trains they've done in the past. So yeah. Man, I'm a little behind. Let's see what we have here. Let's see. I guess shoot, there was something I was gonna say about Riddler Mindbender, or a name, I guess. Oh, Steel Curtain, you brought that one up. Being an NFL fan, even as an NFL fan, I'm not the biggest fan of the name. I'm just kind of like, for someone who doesn't understand the context, it's like a bad name. Is it as bad as like Pit Special? No. But or even Riddler Mindbender. But I mean, it's still not the best name in my opinion. So yeah.
Speaking of Riddler, I also don't really like the name Riddler Revenge.
Oh,
I think it's like
awful. It's terrible.
Like, I know Coaster Daddy went into this, but it feels so unsatisfying that like I'm probably just gonna call it Riddler's Revenge.
Hey, at least it's not as bad. I mean, one of the worst names I've ever heard. The Tehran clone coming to, I forget which park it is, but one of the ones in China that is, I think, being built currently, or maybe it's open recently. It's going to be called All Speeds. Like, All Speeds. Oh my God. I don't want to go off on I don't want to go on all day about like terrible names, but that one's really bad. That's another like really terrible one.
I have another terrible Intamin name that we'll talk about later.
Yeah. Question: did we watch Theme Park Media's video on the theme of Steel Vengeance? I did. It was pretty interesting. Really didn't think about it all that much when I was writing it, but now kind of thinking about it, it's kind of cool. Kind of like the whole backstory behind it. It's pretty interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still not like it's nice that it has like this pretty interesting backstory, but at the end of the day, the theming on the actual ride's still non-existent. So yeah.
I like the video. It's a Theme Park Media video, so obviously it's good, but it is interesting. Honestly, I don't remember the video too well, but I still like the fact that Steel Vengeance, the theme, is like getting revenge on Maverick, because like Maverick for all this time was the star of Frontier Town, and Mean Streak was one of the most hated coasters ever. And now that Steel Vengeance is here, it's like one of the best. So yeah, I really like the theme. Even though there's not that much theming in the queue, it's still a good theme in general.
Yeah. So for right now, I'm going to, you can save, if you have any more questions, save them for later. But right now I'm going to be closing the Q&A session, and actually we'll be asking, or I guess I'll be asking, questions for you guys, questions for the viewers. And our first one is, what is your top bucket list state you haven't been to? And Jace, I'll let you start off with this one. What's the top? Well, I guess what's like a top bucket list state you haven't been to?
Okay, so I have one clear winner, and that'll have to go to Florida. Florida is like booming. Like there are so many theme parks there, and it's not like they're stopping. Velocicoaster and Iron Gwazi, two of some of the best coasters in the world, are coming to Florida soon. And there's so many parks, and they're not just like okay amusement parks on the side of the road. They're like real detail theme parks that just honestly look incredible. If I were to go to Florida, I would of course hit up Disney World, all of the parks. I had a good experience at Disneyland. I also want to hit up, of course, Universal Studios Orlando Resort because of Velocicoaster. What else? Oh yeah, there's so much. Busch Gardens Tampa, of course, because it has like one of the best coaster lineups ever. I can't forget SeaWorld Orlando or the Fun Spot parks. There's just so much to do there. And besides that, you have the Orlando Starflyer. It's unfortunate about the incident, but yeah, that ride still looks fun nevertheless.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree. And actually, we did not share our answers before this, but my top bucket list state is also Florida. I guess I'll mention this. I've been to California, Nevada, Georgia, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, which would have been one, but I've already been there, so doesn't count. Maryland, New Jersey, and I've been to Washington, D.C. Not really a state, but I'll just put that in there. So Florida, it is my top bucket list state if we're strictly talking about like coasters and theme parks. However, if we are taking that out of account, my other top bucket list state, like just to do stuff in, would be New York. Obviously, New York City, they do have some coasters in New York, some pretty solid ones, some pretty good ones. But the city of New York, there's a lot of museums and just places I want to go to there. So, and it's one of the, I guess, one of the few like really major US cities I haven't been to yet. So, definitely one I do want to go to, New York. And I guess I'm curious about you guys, what you guys have for your top bucket list states. Pennsylvania for Skyrush alone. Pennsylvania, I mean, they have such a stacked coaster collection. You haven't been to Pennsylvania, correct? Actually, what states have you been to? I guess I should have. Yeah.
Well, I've only been to I guess 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hawaii, California, and Washington.
Oh, you've been to Washington. I thought you've been to Nevada or something.
Oh yeah, I've never been to Nevada yet.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm actually surprised by that. I didn't know that. Texas. Texas. Oh, shoot. That's another one. It's like right up there with like New York. Actually, I might do Texas over New York just because they have the coasters and they have the history. Like they have the Alamo. They have a lot of cool stuff there. So Texas, definitely one that I could have put on here. I've technically been to the airport, but I've never really done anything there. So that's definitely one. Ohio, I've already been there. That used to be my top bucket list state. Cedar Point was amazing, obviously. And even I was in Cleveland for a few days. Cleveland, pretty solid city, actually, which not a whole lot of people would say that. They have some cool things there. So definitely a good bucket list state. Texas, yeah, Texas, definitely. Yeah, I can understand that. California or Texas, very understandable, both of those. Idaho or Utah, interesting. I imagine you've been to a lot of the states, so yeah. Utah for many reasons, but I was answering with coasters I haven't written in mine. Yeah, okay, that definitely makes sense. So with that said, I guess we'll move to our second question, which is, if I could pull it up here, what is a weird coaster or weird coasters that are on your bucket list? So like really just bizarre, weird coasters. I'll go first with this one. And I didn't necessarily go for like really amazing coasters, but I just kind of went with some that are a little just on the weird side. Of course, one of them, Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain. I mean, you gotta, that one is just, it looks so weird, but it looks so amazing at the same time. And another one, which I know this will be extremely unpopular and people, I think this one's been kind of like a joke. A lot of people have made a joke about this one, but Vertical Roller Coaster in China.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the Golden Horse dive coaster that has both the B&M style and Intamin style track and the Sidewinder. I know it's crazy, but I mean, I did not have the best experience on Valraven, and I want a dive coaster that's different. And this one, it's very special. So that's why that's why it's on my bucket list.
Okay, so if this coaster still operates or still exists, it would be my number one. It would have to go to Spinning Jesus.
Oh my god.
It looks so weird, and that's why it's amazing. But since it's closed now, I can't do it. Rest in peace. But for coasters that are operating, I will have to agree with Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain. First of all, it's pretty like it's in America, so like I'm maybe a little more likely to ride it. And also it just looks very weird in general. It's like a wooden coaster, but you can ride forward or backward. It has an elevator lift. I think I kind of find that almost a gimmick. But the dark ride section and like overall besides that, it looks very weird, but also looks very awesome.
Yeah. Only thing is I need to I mean that's not a place I can go to alone. I mean that's not a coaster I can go to alone because you'll be hitting someone. So yeah. So I'll have to figure that out somehow. But yeah. Someone was saying Rainier Rush. God, that ride looked horrible. That thing looks so bad, and it was like a kind of legendary on Canada Coaster Fan. Like I know he mentioned it several times, kind of legendary, but man, that thing looked awful. But I mean, I guess you gotta experience it if it's like so bad. I mean, that inclined loop thing, whatever it was. Oh my god.
I guess you can also apply SLCs. I can also, that's also like sort of on my bucket list because I haven't ridden one yet. And I want to ride one just to see how bad it is. I'm probably going to get a headache, but I just want to see how it is.
Oh, I didn't think SLCs were that bad. Now, I'm kind of curious to ride the ones in China that are made by knockoff manufacturers. I hope I don't die in the process. But that has to be like, those might be the worst coasters on earth. So I have to see if they're really as bad as people say. Will it dethrone Coast Rider is the real question. I've never heard of this. Boy Caddis coaster. Is this a real thing? I have never heard of it. I have to look it up on RCDB real quick. Is this real? I've never heard of this ever. So I'm looking it up. I don't see it. So I don't know. Yeah, I can't find it. But yeah.
I found it.
Oh, really? What?
Yes.
How?
It's on RCDB.
I was looking for it and I couldn't find it.
It's not like the first search result, but it's like pretty close. It's standing but not operating. It's an enclosed ride. Unknown manufacturer.
What do you type in? I typed in literally the name and I can't find it.
Wait, let me just check. Oh, it's boy with an I first, and then boy with a Y.
Oh.
And
yeah, there it is. There we go. What the? Oh my. What is this? Kind of looks legendary, but kind of looks wonky. I could definitely understand why you'd have that one. Oh, it was originally it was supposed to be themed to Croods, like the DreamWorks movie, but they the license got terminated before they opened it. So that's pretty wacky. Spinning Jesus will be resurrected. I hope so. It relocates the ride along with the Spinning Jesus. Oh my god.
If they relocate the ride but not relocate the Spinning Jesus, that would be one of the most disappointing things ever.
You want to ride that claustrophobic coaster. Oh my god, that one with the weird trains. I know. Is it like my Ice Mountain bobsled or something? I forget what it's called. I think that might be it. I'll look it up. Mate, yeah, it's Ice Mountain bobsled. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that ride looks so weird. I mean,
agree.
that looks so weird. The Stingray Vekoma flying coaster in China. I don't even think that thing's still operating, unfortunately. I mean, I might be wrong on that, but I think it's defunct. It actually looked pretty good. It looked weird, but it looked good. Screamin' squirrels. Oh god. Yeah, I don't know about that one for me. Millennium Force with an inversion. Oh, do you mean like Millennium at like Fantasy Island? That one, like the Vekoma coaster, maybe that's what you mean. Because that's it. Hillbilly Coaster Texas Bronco. Oh my. Yeah, we've gotten to some pretty weird coasters. The next question I guess we have is what is your least favorite manufacturer based off the coasters you have ridden? I'll let you start off with this one.
Okay, so I have two. First one, Zierer. I've only ridden one of their coasters. That's Jaguar at Knott's Berry Farm, and it's pretty terrible. It's rattly. It's boring. There's a lot of straight sections. It doesn't really do much. And also some of the transitions towards the end are pretty janky. Overall, it's a meh experience. But obviously, I haven't ridden some of their most recent coasters. I actually think like Wicked looks like good.
Yeah, Wicked looks good. I guess. Oh wait, do you have another one or just?
I have one more. Zamperla. I've ridden two of their coasters, Pony Express and Dragor, which is a traveling coaster. Pony Express was actually fun, except for that the restraints made it so that it's almost impossible to breathe.
On the break.
And yes, the break one especially, it was bad. And then Dragor, it was the first ever coaster I've ridden, and it actually scared me of riding other coasters because mainly it was rattly, obviously, and it just overall wasn't a very like well-made traveling coaster. I still like Jungle Twist more. But yeah, it's more intense than Jungle Twist, but it's not anything amazing.
Yeah. So for me, man, so I know I could have gone with Zierer and Zamperla. I actually like Jaguar, unpopular opinion. Sort of.
I can see
I
that.
actually like it because it gives a nice. I never thought it was that bad, like in terms of roughness or being rattly or anything. And I just decided to go with coasters that I've actually ridden, some of their more major-ish coasters. So my first one is, and keep in mind this is based off what I've ridden, Vekoma. Really, the best coaster or my favorite coaster I've ridden from them is it's Kong, the SLC, which it's actually not that bad. It's actually okay, but it's just okay, and that's the problem. Like all their other coasters are just not either really boring or just very bad. So that I've ridden at least. And the other one I have is Mauer, which might be a little surprising. I've only ridden two of their coasters, two of their spinning coasters. Laugh Track was once again, like really what made it was the indoor like theming, because the ride itself, like the layout was just kind of dull for a spinning coaster. Oh, and Undertow was quite possibly one of the biggest coaster disappointments I've ever had. I know I shouldn't have even been that hyped in the first place, but I had heard such good things about like the model, and it was just like when I wrote it, I was just like, what was this? Like, I think I got an especially bad ride because I think all the brakes were just hitting pretty hard, and it made it like extremely forceless. The only saving grace of that ride was I rode it with friends, so it was more fun than it would have been otherwise. But other than that, it was just boring. Really. I mean, Sea Serpent, the ENF Miler was a better coaster at the park, honestly. Like the kiddie coaster they have, it was better. It actually did something. So yeah.
I don't think I've ridden a Mara coaster yet. I gotta check, but I think I haven't.
I don't think so because those are the only two I've ever ridden. And I think Undertow might be the only Mauer in California. I may or may not be wrong on that, but I think that's correct. Let's see what we have here from the viewers. Oh wait, what happened? Well, I guess I'll keep the stream going while we figure out what happened. But Coaster Craziness said, all right, here we go. I don't know what happened.
About that.
No, it's all good.
I can say what happened. I accidentally like swiped left to right on the trackpad, which is a back button. Oh my gosh, my bad.
I would have used a different word than swipe left, but yeah. Anyways, I guess I would. So Coaster Craziness said that Mauer, but he's only ridden one bad one and one good one. Yeah, Mauer. They have a few cool looking coasters, but honestly, I don't think they're that great. Zamperla's lows are very low. I haven't ridden anything that's that awful. Actually, wait, no, I have. It's called Speedy Gonzalez Hot Rod Racers. That's bad. I could have put Zamperla, but Pony Express, I actually like it a decent bit. It's just too short. So, yeah. Togo by a long shot because of Big Apple Coaster. Yeah, Togo, especially if you ride the North American coasters or rode them before they went. Yeah, Togo was pretty bad. Togo coasters in Japan, though, pretty good, actually, from what I've heard. So, yeah, I mean, there's probably a few bad ones still, but yeah. ENF Miler based on Great Pumpkin Coaster. I actually like ENF Miler, even though I've only ridden kitty coasters from them.
They're mostly kitty coasters, but still.
Yeah, I wish I rode Scania Screamer. So mad I didn't do that. I'm actually I'm so sad I didn't get to ride that. But yeah, hopefully it gets relocated somewhere eventually. National Amusement Device Company. They made Wildcat at Frontier City. And I haven't heard too much about this manufacturer, but
never heard of them.
Great things about Wildcat either, so that is understandable. Oh, the company that built High Roller on Stratosphere.
Ooh,
is that the one, or is it High Roller at? Hold up, I need to look at this real quick. I think it's the one at Stratosphere. Well, hold up. I don't know if that's the right one. I'm looking up all the high rollers in existence. One was built by Molina and Sons. Oh, the one at Valley Fair. Okay, so not the one at Stratosphere. I was about to say, I'm like, wow, that ride went away a while back. Actually, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I haven't heard many bad things about it. It just doesn't seem that great. But yeah. Oh yeah, you know what? I should have figured it was Valley Fair because you're from Minnesota. I totally forgot about that. Gal at Greenland is garbage. I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard it's not that great. Just a really long coaster.
Just looks interesting.
Yeah, it looks interesting. We'll say that. I guess Vekoma. Oh, Vekoma. Yeah, the coasters I've ridden and probably you've ridden aren't that great. Actually, you've ridden a few Vekoma coasters. I think they're mostly kiddie coasters, but what do you think of them?
I have ridden one Vekoma kiddie coaster, and I actually enjoyed it. It was Gadgets Go coaster at Disneyland. It wasn't bad at all. I actually really enjoyed it. And if the only coasters Vekoma ever made were kiddie coasters, then it's a very successful model. So yeah.
Yeah, Gadgets Go coaster is pretty good in my experience. I haven't ridden it in a long time, but honestly, it's a pretty nice kiddie coaster. It has kind of I guess maybe theming's the wrong word for it, but it has some stuff around it. So, I mean, I guess theming. Yeah, we'll say that.
Great.
Reverchon, I've ridden none of their coasters, so I can't say anything about them.
Me neither.
You like Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, but all the other Mauers suck. Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket actually looks pretty good.
I agree.
Yeah.
You see, it's weird because I just find it kind of like a missed opportunity when a coaster has a vertical lift, but doesn't have a beyond vertical drop, or at least a vertical drop. But I think the music aspect, the how you can like pick your soundtrack that you can ride it with, I think that's an amazing concept, and it honestly might make the ride for me.
Yeah, the soundtrack, I think, yeah, it would definitely add a lot to the coaster. So that definitely would probably make the ride for a lot of people. Me, I mean, I like a good soundtrack, although actually, really, I mean, I didn't ride California Screamin', which I'm so mad that I never did. And we had the intro, we had the song for it in there.
Hyped.
Yeah. Yeah, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. It does have a few like really nice looking elements. So it's an interesting coaster. Also Shock, if you guys have ever heard of that one, that looks pretty good. That's another Mauer. It's a launch coaster. That one looks pretty good. I forget what park it's at. It's like a kind of obscure coaster, but that one looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. It looks very intense.
Coaster Hipster did a video on that.
Yes, I remember.
Let's see. Most epically themed station for the mildest coaster. Can anything beat Jaguar? I don't think so. Honestly, I can't think of anything that could beat that. So I guess our next question is, what is your favorite Coaster Studios coaster parody? Jace came up with this one. I'll go first. I assume mine. A lot of people might share this as a favorite as well. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. But I don't think so. I think a lot of people like this one. It's one of the older ones, but the lightning rod parody is definitely the one I think of. Whenever I think of coaster parodies, that's like the first one that pops in my head. So it had to be that one. It was just really funny on so many different levels. So yeah.
Okay, so I have 3 because it's hard to like. Oh well, like I do have like a number 1 favorite, but there's like 2 that are like honorable mentions. So for the initial impression, I would choose Blue Hawk because after the last cutaway, when spoiler alert, they threw Taylor and Dakota, Mr. Vekoma threw them into the same trash can. I was like laughing for like 2 minutes straight after that. That was like honestly like if I were to choose a parody after watching that, that would be instantly my favorite parody. Now it's like kind of getting old, but it still is hilarious. The best cutaway scene, that'll have to go to Red Force. The race was hilarious. It still makes me laugh to this day. But best overall, I'm gonna have to go with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Just overall, the jokes, the cutaway scene is still hilarious. Just everything in general about that parody is like, it's overall like the most well-rounded and best parody, I think.
I actually haven't watched Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in a while. I can't remember. I'll have to watch it. Let's see what our viewers have to say. Lightning Rod. Okay, it is. I kind of thought it was the popular favorite, but I haven't I didn't know exactly what the consensus is. But it looks like a lot of people have that. Time Traveler. Right. That one's pretty good. From what I remember, I think that one's pretty good.
I wish they didn't fast forward the part at the end. I want to see the whole thing.
Another Coaster Cloud says his favorite is Time Traveler by far. So Time Traveler. Steel Vengeance. That one. I don't remember that one too well, honestly.
It's all right, I think.
Dodompa. I remember that one a little bit. So
I don't know if there is a Dota. Oh wait, I think there is.
Yeah, there is.
Watch it.
Yes, okay. There is. There definitely is.
I'll have to rewatch it.
The Boomerang parody. Oh wait, now I remember.
I like that parody.
You get a boomerang. You get a boomerang. Everyone gets a boomerang.
Except for you, Great Adventure. But trust me, that's a good thing.
Man, you remember those so well. Someone agreed with you about Red Force.
Yes.
Stanford Bridge.
I agree.
a 95-foot tall loop.
Oh, that was the best part of the time traveler parody by far.
Oh my god.
95.
All right. So, the Tempesto one. Yes, I remember that one. Oh my god, anytime anyone brings up pasta, I like keep thinking tempasta.
Introducing the Tempesta or whatever they. I don't know.
I keep thinking tempasta. Oh my god, whenever pasta comes up, I'm like, oh no. It's just something that's drilled into my brain at this point. How did I guess this is the question. How did the boomerang at Knots get put on top of a building in Indonesia? I don't know, but it just did.
I guess like a really tall crane. Like I'm sure there will be a crane that's able to put it on top of that building.
Yeah, that would be pretty tough to do, but it's cool that they were able to do it. I don't think it has opened yet though, so that's kind of unfortunate. I hope it doesn't like cause too much stress on the roof. That could actually be a problem. But yeah. Let's see. So the next thing I guess we have here, I'll be moving to the next segment if that's all right with you. Alrighty. So the next segment we have is what out of 10. I introduced this last week pretty much. And this is pretty much where I get POVs of different coasters, and you guys give me a score, and I try to average it out. And the best one, and we guess I have a ranking of the worst to best. So our first coaster that we have is Riddler's Revenge at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Give me a moment to get the POV up and ready, and I will have it on screen share. So let me get that set up here. Hopefully it won't take as long last time for me to like actually, I guess, get the entire thing set up. I'm gonna put it on full screen. That's not full screen. That's full screen. And I'll turn off the volume, I guess. And so here you go. So here's Riddler's Revenge at Six Flags Magic Mountain. You give this a score out of 10. If you have ridden it, then you can do it based off that. If you haven't, just do a prediction based off the POV. This is a POV from Six Flags Magic Mountain, by the way. So yeah.
Would you like me to give my score, or at least my guess?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so for Riddler's Revenge, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10 as a prediction. That's like probably the lowest score I would give it, because I feel like I would probably give that if let's say I don't know how to ride a stand-up coaster. I guess there's a certain way. So I guess if I'm at a park, I'm probably gonna forget it. So I'm probably gonna like ride it wrong, and I'm gonna have a bad experience. But if I do get a good experience, I'm probably gonna rank this like pretty high, because I mean the layout looks absolutely incredible. Probably one of my favorite B&M layouts I've seen. It just looks very strong in general. If for some reason they convert it to a floorless coaster, it would probably one of the best floorless coasters in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just I would love to see it as a floorless. It's kind of a shame that we already have Scream in the same park. I do really feel like that could get relocated because Magic Mountain doesn't really need it. And honestly, it's not one of my favorite coasters out there. So put in your scores if you haven't already. And this week I will be taking like fractional numbers or decimal numbers, because I actually have something that I can do it with pretty easily. So put in your score, and I'm actually going to be creating a cutoff when I comment the next coaster. That'll be the cutoff for the scores. That way it makes it a little easier for me to get everything down. So put in your scores if you haven't already, and we'll be moving on to the next one, which is Piraten at Djurs Sommerland, which is otherwise known as the Intamin Megalite, or now the Ultra Coaster. So yeah. Alrighty, so it sounds like everyone's done. So I'm going to put in Piraten. Yeah. Don't put in your score again if you already put it in, because I don't want that to screw with the results. So yeah, so all right. So now that's put in. So the next scores will be going for Piraten. So Let me get that up real quick, and then you guys can give your score for it. Hopefully I don't get an ad. Okay. Here we go. So here's the POV for it. This one I would give it a 9 out of 10. The Riddler's Revenge, I forgot to mention, I would give it a I guess a what is it? I would have given it a 8 out of 10. Yeah.
Okay, so I would probably give Piraten an 8.5 out of 10. That's probably the lowest score I would give it, because mainly for the points taken off, that's probably because Intamin ultra coasters or megalites, they're kind of getting like almost a bad reputation now, because like Coaster Studios and like I guess the Japan Coaster Tour has ridden the first megalite Kawasami, and they weren't very impressed by it. But I heard that Piraten runs much better than Kawasami. But besides that, airtime looks incredible. Laterals look incredible, especially during that the 3 twisted airtime hills. And in general, like even the first turn looks very intense. Overall, I think I would really like this ride.
Yeah, it's one that I think I would love it. It just looks incredible, the airtime moments. And it looks fairly there. I mean, the first turn, there's some moments that look fairly intense. So also you can't forget about the twisted trio of airtime moments. That's kind of that's definitely like one of the more interesting looking parts of the ride. So yeah. All right. So put in your scores for this. A lot of very high scores, as I am seeing. So this one's definitely going to be one that definitely has a chance at winning. I will give the scores at the end rather than while I'm doing this, because I think last time I just gave the scores like while I was doing it for each one, but I'm going to wait till the end. So I'll give you a few more seconds, and then I'm going to type down the next coaster that we have, which is the one and only, the legendary Anaconda at Walygator Park.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I'm going to put in Anaconda right now. That way, that's going to be the cutoff for scores. All right. So let me calculate the score for Piraten. And there we go. So now I'm going to, let's see. Alrighty. So give me a second to get this one in again. And then, yeah. Thank God we haven't gotten an ad yet. That's fantastic. So this is Anaconda at Walygator Park. This is a wooden coaster that is, well, it's something that exists, apparently. It has 10 out of 10 pacing, as you can see here. I mean, it's just, yeah. I already have a score for this. I would give this a 3 out of 10. It does not look very good. I think a 3 might be generous. This thing looks terrible. If you guys have never heard of this, yeah, it's this wooden coaster. It's not known for being very good. It's actually known for being pretty bad. So it definitely is not great. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it does remind me of Grizzly a bit, but I've heard it's actually rough. But I don't know that for certain, but it just looks super boring. Stamford Bridge gives it a 5. Jace, what do you think about this one? What score do you know yet?
So I would also give this ride a 3 out of 10. Again, I think that's being generous. I heard it is very rough. The layout looks terrible. That might be because of the bad pacing, but also it doesn't really do much. And honestly, if they RMC it, it probably won't be like a strong RMC layout either, just because like it's spread out and it's super basic. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, so last chance to put in your score here for Anaconda at Walygator Park. yeah, this ride, let's just say it doesn't look all that fantastic. Definitely, it doesn't look like it's going to be scoring very high, like in the slightest. So I'll give you a few more seconds to put in your scores, and then I will be moving on to our next coaster, an actually good coaster, believe it or not, Maxx Force at Six Flags Great America. So definitely one that, yeah, it's going to be a lot better than the one we're dealing with right now. At least I would think it would be. If it's rough than that, it was an amazing POV because it was really stable. Maybe it's not too bad, but the layout just doesn't look like anything special. All right, so I'm going to put down Maxx Force, and that's going to be the cutoff for the scores on the thing. So the next scores will be going to Maxx Force. And give me a second to put in, wow, that's a, without giving spoilers away, this is a very sad overall score. I'll just say that much. But yeah, so alrighty. So now give me a second to put in the Maxx Force POV, which won't be very long, obviously. So here we go. Do I have audio? No, I don't have audio on. All right. So this is Maxx Force at Six Flags Great America, a new coaster that opened last year. Looks really good to me. I would have to give this a 9.5 out of 10. I know it's very short, but I do like what it does with the layout. Its layout is pretty interesting in my opinion. Jace, what would you say?
So I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. You see, the weird thing is, before I guess the reviews came out, I was expecting Maxx Force to be one of the best launch coasters because the launch would probably be one of the best out there. But as reviews came out of this, and I guess Dodompa as well, people were saying that the launch is so forceful that it's too short. And so that like changed my perspective on air launch coasters. But that doesn't stop me from thinking that, first of all, it's going to have an amazing launch, or it does have an amazing launch. And the layout looks very good. I mean, I'm mostly comparing this to Accelerator, which not too many people complain that Accelerator is short. I guess people kind of expect it to be short. It also does more than Accelerator. Like Accelerator does a top hat and 2 turns. This has 5 inversions packed into the layout. I guess that's kind of debatable because some of the inversions look like they're not actually inversions. But nevertheless, I think the ride looks amazing. I just wish it would be a little longer.
Could you say the score you gave it again? I was plugging in numbers.
Okay, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Got it. Perfect. That was what I thought you said. I just had to make sure.
Cool.
Alrighty. So anyone left who hasn't answered yet, this is like your basically last opportunity to put in what you think it would be out of 10. And then we'll be moving on to the next and the final coaster, which is yet another one I've ridden, which is Flight Deck, the B&M Invert at California's Great America, a short but sweet ride. So at least in my opinion. So yeah. Yeah, I do kind of agree. Like it is because there is I guess there's only so far we can go with predictions. It is a very different coaster than really anything I've ridden. So yeah, that is kind of the case, but I mean it still looks great. So yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I'm gonna put down now Flight Deck, and that'll be the cutoff for the scores. All scores will be going to Flight Deck at this point. Which is the one at California's Great America, the B&M invert, not the really bad one that's at Canada's Wonderland. Yeah. Already very high score for Maxx Force. Very nice. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna put in the link for for Flight Deck, and hopefully we don't get an ad. Perfect, we didn't.
Wow, you have amazing luck.
Maybe it's because I already have it fast forwarded to that, or I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm actually amazed that I didn't get an ad at all. But yeah, so flight deck for this, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Of course, I've ridden it. It's a short but sweet ride. My second favorite invert I have ridden thus far, just behind Raptor. So very intense invert, just short. I really like the helix going over the lake as well. So yeah.
Okay, I would also give it an 8 out of 10. I originally put 7.5, but I think I probably underestimated this ride. I think this is probably one of the best paced B&M inverts ever. Like, it looks like from the POVs, it blazes through every element. Even the 0G roll, like it looks like it goes through that faster than normal. It's hard to judge because I've ridden Silver Bullet, another B&M invert, but it's a very different invert from this. So it's hard to judge like how intense it'll be and if it affects the ride experience. I'd say if it was a little longer, I would rank the score like much higher because the ride already looks incredible, especially the finale with it going over the lake. I think it looks very fun.
Yeah, the pacing for it is top notch for a B&M invert. I think if I had, yeah, it probably does have the best pacing for me if I had to judge them off of pacing, even over Raptor. But Raptor's much longer, has a lot more elements, so therefore I like it better. Also, Raptor's pacing is really good still. And yeah, the helix over the lake, very good, very awesome standout moment on the ride, at least for me. Yeah, I do wish it could have been a little longer, but for what it is, it's very good. So, and yes, you can change your score to an 8.25 if you would like. I already put that in here. So, any, I guess, last answers for flight deck in terms of scores? And if we have everything, I'll calculate it very quickly, and then we'll get to our, I guess, ranking based off of the scores you guys gave. I averaged all of these out, so that's how I'm getting the scores. So it doesn't matter as much if some get more or some get less, but yeah. 8.7, nice. And I think I'm going to, all right, I think I'm going to close it right there. We have all of our scores for flight deck. So that'll be the final score, I guess, which I'll reveal in just a second. So there we go. So now I guess we'll kind of rank these in terms of the score they got, and I'll reveal the score they got. But in last place, no surprise, Anaconda at Walygator Park with a, actually, hold on, I need to take the screen share off. Yeah, there we go. Anaconda at Walygator Park was in dead last with an overall score of a 2.96. Somehow worse than the rating I gave it, which I thought I guess I said I was being generous, and it really shows. Yeah, Anaconda last by far. In fourth place, we have a bit of a shocker, I guess. Well, actually, maybe not really, because stand-up coasters are a little controversial. Riddler's Revenge, an overall score of a 7.59. Someone gave it a 5 out of 10, which that makes sense. Some people just don't like stand-up coasters. And some people are a little lower on it, but a 7.59 out of 10, still pretty solid, honestly. Yeah. And in third place, we have Flight Deck at California's Great America with a solid 8.16 out of 10. A lot of people gave it 8s. Like, there was very little variation outside of 8s. So that is the score it got. In second place, with a very respectable score of a 9.10, is Maxx Force at Six Flags Great America, which got, yes, like I said, a 9.10 out of 10. Very respectable. And our top coaster, despite being a cloned model, is Piraten at Djurs Sommerland with an overall score of a 9.43 out of 10. So
Impressive.
a few of you guys gave it 10 out of 10. So that definitely impacted it. But Piraten looks fantastic. Honestly, how they're ranked, it's kind of close to how I would guess they would be. Although I do have Riddler's Revenge over Flight Deck. So I guess if this were to be my prediction / actual rankings, Piraten, I think, would be my number one. Maxx Force would be, it's very close between, even though they're very different rides, Piraten and Maxx Force. My number 3 would be Riddler's Revenge. My number 4 would be Flight Deck, and obviously Anaconda dead last. I just kept it because I knew it was like such a trash coaster, so I had to like have a really low. I was just kind of like, I wonder how badly it'll score. So that's that. So that's that segment. And the next thing we're gonna be doing is the topics that we're talking about, and the first one is under the radar international parks. So both of us picked 4 parks, international parks, that are just kind of under the radar. Maybe not as many people talk about it. Maybe it's underrated. That I guess we can mention or talk about as like that they're underrated parks or under the radar parks, and maybe give a few reasons why. So I'll give my first one here. For some of these, I went pretty like far. So the first one I have is Djurs Sommerland. Yes, the park with Piraten in Denmark. Now this, also we don't know if we have the same one. So we could totally have the same ones, and we don't know because we didn't reveal it to each other up until this point. But Djurs Sommerland, I mean, they have 3 Intamin coasters: Piraten, which is obviously the Intamin Megalite, Juvelin, which is the Intamin motorbike coaster, or well, it's a launch coaster. It kind of has that sort of feel that looks really solid for a family coaster. Actually, supposed to be one of the best motorbike coasters, I guess. And they also have Drage Kongen. I may have totally butchered that, but it is the Intamin suspended family coaster that actually looks fairly intense for a family coaster. So that looks pretty good. They have 7 coasters overall, and in my opinion, the best looking coaster collection in Denmark. A lot of the parks in Denmark aren't talked about a whole lot. And a few other things. They have a rare Topple Tower, which is a rare flat ride. They have one of the few out there in the entire world. So that's pretty awesome. And then it's just a fun and charming looking park. So that's kind of like why I think Djurs Sommerland is a bit under the radar. Not a whole lot of people talk about it, really. So yeah.
I feel ashamed of forgetting that park. But yeah, I would probably include that. But I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
The first one. Okay, so my first pick would have to be Flamingoland in England. I guess the funny reason is that there was this trend that Flamingoland doesn't exist. So I guess that like kind of, I don't know, it threw it under the radar for sure. But besides that, it actually has a decent lineup of coasters. They're getting an Intamin 10 inversion coaster, the 2nd generation. I'm not sure if that's opening up in 2020 or 2021, probably 21, but we'll see about that. They also have Mumbo Jumbo, a clone of Steel Hog. Fun fact, one of the few coasters in the world that got stuck upside down. And they also got a Vekoma motorbike coaster. I think it's called Velocity. And they also have Kumali, a Shenlin SLC, which is, I'm not sure if the roughness was improved at all. It probably isn't, but the layout is different, and it's good to spice up the SLC layout, even if that might make it worse. I don't know.
Flamingo Land, I like totally forgot that part. That was one I was never gonna think of in a million years. But yeah, their coaster collection, especially when they're gonna get that I guess 10 inversion coaster next year, multi-inversion coaster. That'll be definitely a great add to their lineup. Hopefully, assuming like the restraints aren't too bad, I guess. Because I've heard mixed things on those kinds of coasters, but it looks like a good addition. The park overall definitely seems like one that should be talked about more. My next one is Gold Reef City in South Africa. And I mean, this park, they have an amazing top 3. Anaconda, the Gaio Vanola invert, which looks like one of the best inverts on the entire planet. Tower of Terror, the coaster that pulls the most G-forces on the planet with a whopping 6.1 Gs on like the bottom of the first drop, something like that. I believe that is the amount of G's it pulls. And they have Golden Loop, the Schwarzkopf shuttle loop, and you can never go wrong with those. Those are awesome rides. And it looks well themed, and I've heard it's actually well themed from what I've heard, which is awesome. It actually has some cool history because it's built over what used to be a mining town and a gold mine, like an actual what used to be a real mining town and a gold mine. So it's got a lot of cool history behind it. They even have like some museums and some cool historical stuff there. It just looks like a great park overall. Looks really nice, honestly.
Okay, so my next park is going to be a Chinese park, the only one on my list. It is Nanchang Sunakland. I don't know too much about the park, honestly, but what I do know is that they have an amazing top 2. One of the best GCIs ever built in Python and Bamboo Forest, also known as Vipere. Honestly, when I first looked at it, I wasn't impressed by the layout. I thought it was a little basic, but as I saw the reviews, I saw that, like, first of all, the quantity of airtime looks incredible. And just like the sensation of speed and intensity in general looks amazing, even if the layout is a little basic. And it's a very good, or like, it takes advantage of the terrain. And then there's also Coaster Through the Clouds.
Yes.
Again, not the most well-rated Intamin hyper, but I like how unique it is. It's more of a twister layout, if anything. The airtime looks more along the line of a B&M hyper than like other mega coasters. And also there's this like weird outer banked like twisted hill like that goes through the structure with a cool head chopper. That is that looks incredible. But overall, oh yeah, and the drop looks insane. But just the park, I'm not sure about the rest of the park, but I do know it has an amazing top 2.
Yeah, yes. That park looks really good. I actually did think about putting Nanchang Sunakland in there just because I was like, oh, they have Coaster Through the Clouds, they have Python and Bamboo Forest. So, and actually, if you look at the pictures, it looks pretty nice, honestly. At least like definitely looks like it has some nice looking portions. Still not happy that they messed up with the snake. They can't tell what snake is venomous or not, but oh well, that's their fault. I guess it's just kind of how it is. But that's just how, I mean, the park itself does look great. Definitely one I was thinking of, but instead I put in another Chinese park called, well, of course you guys know this one, but Ocean Park in Hong Kong. Now, this one definitely does not have the greatest coaster collection really at all. Their only notable coasters really at this park is they have a very large scale for at least what they normally build, but a very large scale like Zamperla mine train that's like I think it's like, I think the supports to the track, it might be over 100 feet tall. It's pretty tall. And I think it might have like it's a very tall mine train coaster, and it gives some amazing views. And then I of course have their arrow looper. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Dragon. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Which is right by like you can get a great view of the ocean. And then you have Hair Razor, which is a B&M floorless. Maybe not the best layout, but once again, that location kind of improves the ride from what I've heard. It kind of makes it like very different from anything else. And it looks like a very solid coaster. But really, it's the location that really makes that ride, the park, like amazing for me. And also like because they also have some solid like rides, like a drop tower and some flat rides. But instead of like just being in like, you know, just like on a slab of concrete or something, they're like really, they're in like an amazing spot where you get some amazing views, and it's like pretty incredible, like the location, like just the amount of views you get from there. It's really like, it's a totally different experience, like a lot of rides that maybe you've ridden before. So I think that's really cool. And they also have some pretty solid theming, actually some great theming from the looks of it. Some good animal exhibits, so that's always something good. And they have a really bright future if they can get all that money and everything going. They have a really bright future. They could be getting a B&F surf coaster. So yeah, they're the park that I guess had that concept art. So very bright future ahead of them. That's why I have it as one of my under the radar parks.
Okay. Actually, just now I'm thinking of one that I should have included on my list, but I feel like you would already include it. So I'll say it if you haven't, but I think you'll probably have it on the list. But anyways, my third under the radar international park is Bakken Land. Is it in Belgium? I'm not sure. I'm
Oh,
so
I
sorry.
forget where it's at. Bobby on Land. That one. No, I did not include it. It was one I thought of, but I was just kind of like, yeah, it's in Belgium. Yep, you're correct. It's in Belgium.
So this park has a decent lineup. It has like there's a new themed area that came in 2019 with their new roller coaster Fury. That looks very fun. Like I feel like it reminds me a lot of a roller coaster I have ridden, Hang Time. Um, the fact that you can vote for which side you're on or whether you go forward or backwards, that's incredible. I believe the area is called Land of Legends. There's also a flat ride, and then there's Typhoon, which is one of the world's first Gerstlauer Eurofighters.
Oh,
It looks average, like it doesn't look like the best, but yeah, I think the park overall, it looks pretty well themed. And yeah, I think Bakken Land looks like a pretty nice park.
I did not know that they had one of the first Eurofighters with Typhoon. I did not know that until you mentioned that. I didn't know a whole lot about the park other than they had Fury, so that's cool. But obviously Fury, a great looking ride from Gerstlauer. And I guess I haven't looked into that new area, Land of Legends, but that does sound interesting for sure. I definitely have to look more into that. So my fourth and final park that I guess I consider under the radar, this is another European park, Linnanmäki in Finland. Now, this one, of course, everyone knows this park now because they have Taiga, but really their coaster collection is very unique and honestly quite good. They have, of course, Taiga, their Intamin Blitz, but they also have a scenic railway wooden coaster like a side friction wooden coaster, which is pretty awesome. They have a good Intamin Zack spin, apparently, at least from what I've heard with Kernu. It's like the other layout that's not the Green Lantern version. They have a Mauer Sky Loop, which I know I was talking trash on Mauer a little bit earlier, but the Sky Loop, it looks like a pretty fun ride. A Mauer Spinner that I assume will probably be more on the intense side for a spinner, hopefully. The only Mock Rides E-Motion coaster, which that's something extremely rare, so they have that. And they do have a Zierer Force coaster, but at least they actually tried to make it unique. They put it in a water tower, so that's pretty cool, or what used to be a water tower. So a very unique coaster collection. And it just looks like, once again, a fun-looking park. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you saved Linnanmäki for last because my last under the radar park is the other known park in Finland. That is Powerland. So Powerland actually has a pretty good lineup. They have their top two looks incredible. It's the two Gerstlauer Infinity coasters. Of course, you know the new one that just opened up, Pit Special.
Yes.
Not a very good name, and honestly, I wish that it would go a little faster through the layout, but nevertheless, I like how it's different from other Infinity coasters, and the fact that it has a wave turn really shows like the direction that Gerstlauer could be going in the future. They also have Junker. That looks like a great Infinity coaster. Looks better than Carajo and maybe even Monster. Probably not, but it'll be close. It has a finish loop. It has like a lot of stuff to it. They also have Thunderbird, which is actually not a clone of American Thunder, but American Thunder is a clone of Thunderbird.
Yeah.
It's the original. Of course, I think like American Thunder is kind of getting like a little bit of slack now, but still it's a GCI, so obviously it'll be at least pretty good. They also have a Boomerang. But in general, I think the park looks pretty nice, especially the area by Junker. I think they did a great job with that area, having it like kind of over water.
Junker looks really good in my opinion, so I'm totally on board with that. Power Lane, definitely another one I'd say is underrated. Pit's special, if they ever want to raise I guess raise the height of a lift hill, that would be really nice, but they'll probably never do that. So unfortunately, it's kind of paced how it's going to be, but that's cool. And then of course, Thunderbird, that's the name of the coaster that pretty much, I guess, American Thunder, I guess, copied pretty much. But yeah, that coaster does look very good. The American Thunder clones, I guess I'll say, or I guess the Thunderbird clones, I would say, look very good. So yeah.
Oh, and also the park that I thought you would include, that I just thought of now is Everland. Everland,
Oh,
Everland is very underrated actually. I looked at pictures of it and the area, like I guess the main street of the park looks beautiful. And plus, they used to have a dynamic duo. Now they have one, but still looks like an incredible coaster, T Express. And just overall, I think Everland really should get a little more recognition.
yeah, I think it is underrated. The only thing is, I think it's just one of those parks that because they have T Express, everyone's heard of it, but people only talk about the park for T Express. But a lot of people talk about T Express, I guess. Well, maybe not a whole. Well, a lot of people, it's usually like a top bucket list coaster. So I just decided not to include it for that reason. But yeah, it looks beautiful.
Understood.
And the zoo area, like the safari area, looks actually like really well done. It used to kind of be a little like older, but they've improved it like in the more recent years. It looks really good. I think they have, if I'm correct, they have a few solid looking flat rides. Nothing like incredible, but I think they might have a few things in there. But their coaster collection, yeah, they could definitely benefit from having Eagles Fortress, which unfortunately they don't have anymore. But that's just kind of how it is. So I guess with our next topic, that first one went a lot longer than expected, but that's all right. The best or craziest flat ride experience. I think I guess, yeah, you can go first with this one.
Okay, I am I guess more of a fan of flat rides than like the average enthusiast. But I'd say the craziest flat ride experience I've been on is a ride I got on Zipper. So on that specific ride, first of all, it was running more intense than usual, which is good. And also, there's this, I don't know how it happened, but it made me like front flip at least
Oh
five
my
times in a
God,
row.
that's insane.
And it was honestly incredible. I would unfortunately they're like sort of toning it down now, like it's not as intense anymore. I wish it would be more intense because that experience was incredible.
That sounds five or more times. God, that's insane. I don't know that I would honestly. That you said your craziest, or would you consider that also your best? I guess that would be your craziest for sure, but would you also consider it your best or no?
Yeah, probably it would be my best.
So for mine, this is more my craziest flat ride experience. I honestly couldn't come down to a best one, but this is definitely the most memorable one. I rode Typhoon last year in 2019. Might have honestly been the last flat ride I rode last year. Which, wow, what a wild one to go on. But basically, this is an Arm Rides Typhoon, which, if you don't know what that is, it's very similar to a Zamperla Hawk, an inverting flat ride. I guess, like, it's not an inverting pirate ship, but think of that if you don't know what it is, kind of like a similar idea. But anyways, I got this insane 5.5 minute like ride cycle with my friends, and I'm like, after I got off, I'm like, why is this even a thing? This really shouldn't exist. But because one of the people in my group that was going to be on the cycle before me asked if they could make it longer, the ride cycle longer. I was like, there's no way the ride op's actually going to listen. But my God, he actually did and put us in a 5.5 minute cycle. Like I said, I don't even know why that's a thing, but apparently it was. But just in my experience, I rode it with some friends, one of which they didn't have the best time on it, and they didn't have the best time off of it, if you know what I mean, like right afterwards. But yeah, couldn't make it back the drive home, but like I guess without doing something. But yeah, but anyways, the hang time, it was insane, absolutely crazy, and the ride was very intense, like super intense, super forceful. I guess it like really felt really forceful. It's hard to describe because, but like I guess just the blood rushing to your head a little bit. It was like crazy. It felt super intense. Really not an experience that I know that I ever want to go through again, but it's definitely something that was just unreal, I guess I'll just say. So
Be careful what you wish for.
yeah, for sure. All right. So actually I guess I forgot to do this. We can look back through the I guess what the viewers had to say. I'm kind of curious. I do want to hear their answers for some of these things. For parks, park asterisks, this is for the under the radar parks. Definitely one that yeah, definitely one that it is underrated, I would say, for sure. Frieze Park Plan, they have El Toro, not the wait, actually I think this is the one, yeah, the one with El Toro.
Not the Intamin.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one. I don't know too much about it outside of that, but I'll have to look more into that. Far Up Sommerland, that's the other Danish park. I kind of looked into it a little bit, but I was kind of like, Djurs has Piraten, so I picked it, which I kind of did. I guess it kind of defeats the purpose, but I wanted to pick some that people had at least heard of. Maybe just not. I mean, I guess people have heard of this, but yeah. Parque España in Japan, that's of course with Pyrenees. Yeah, that one actually looks pretty cool. I've seen some pictures. So, yeah. But yeah, that one's pretty cool. Bobby on Land, they have a decent lineup and it's worth visiting. Yeah. So, yeah, you were right with that one. That one, it does seem pretty cool. But the atmosphere of the place is kind of dreary. That's interesting.
For sure.
Lindenmaki has really underrated depth. I completely agree. I meant it was the only one still operating. I know there was one at the Amsterdam Dungeon that closed, the emotion coaster. It was in the one that was famously in a church. But yeah, it's the only one still operating. That's what I meant to say. Sarkenemi in Finland, that was one I looked at too, but I was kind of like, I kind of held off. Everland actually has a good flat ride collection. Okay, so yeah, I guess I was right. But yeah. So, and I guess also Twister, let's see, for flat ride experiences, Twister at Darien Lake. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up real quick.
Millennium Force Man wrote a long comment on one of on my top 10 bucket list flat ride video about that ride. That experience sounded insane. So basically, like, it has some incredible hang time.
Oh, really? So okay, I kind of see.
Unfortunately, they removed it from the from Darien Lake, but it looks insane.
Oh, the top scan? Is that what it is? Yeah.
It's a top spin.
Top spin. Yes, my bad. Top scan is the Mondo. I totally screw that. Like the yeah, I guess it's a top spin. But yeah, it seems like you can get some pretty crazy rides out of that, so I can definitely understand that. Velocity at Tivoli Gardens. Usually I hear like people, if they take crazy rides, they say like Vertigo, but I don't know exactly what this one is. I'm gonna look it up real quick just to see it. I think I might know what it is. Oh, I think he meant to say Vertigo because I looked up Velocity. It only shows Vertigo. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Mom. My mom's in the chat.
Oh, really? Hi there. Yeah. But Vertigo, yeah, Vertigo looks absolutely insane. That was like one that's like very high on my bucket list in terms of flat rides, even though it might be a little too crazy for me. But yeah, that one definitely looks incredible.
That's number 3 on my bucket list flat rides, if not higher.
Yeah, your number one's slingshot. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Or at least when you made the video, that's pretty surprising. Yeah, vertigo. That was kind of what I figured. Yeah. Velocity, actually, that wouldn't be a terrible name for it. I think that sounds reasonable. They could totally do that, I think.
Especially because it goes way too fast in the middle section.
Yeah. The cycle of Twister was so intense that it killed the hydraulics and it was down 90% of the time. That's also why it was unfortunately removed. That is unfortunate, but at least you got to ride it. That sounds like the rides you got on it. Why? I'll have to look at your comment of exactly the specifics, but sounds like you had a pretty insane experience on it. So with that said, we'll go into our next topic, which is the 3 most anticipated. Oh wait, hold up. No, I skipped it. My bad. Rides you regret missing out on at parks you have been to. Let's see. So I'm trying to remember the order. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm going first for this one. So for me, obviously, I've ridden a lot of the major coasters in California. Basically, the ones that I haven't ridden, like they're here. Like I've ridden almost everything at Magic Mountain. I've ridden everything at Great America. I've ridden every major thing at Knott's, Disneyland, Disney's California Adventure. So with that said, I guess I'll just go right into it. So for my number 3, I have Emperor at SeaWorld San Diego, which for some people might sound a little crazy considering my experience on Valraven wasn't the best. But honestly, I think Emperor looks pretty solid. I don't know what restraints it'll use exactly. I don't know if it's doing the vest or the hard over the shoulder. I'm going to guess the vest, which would be unfortunate. But it looks pretty solid. I actually like the layout. So what's your number 3? And I guess you should mention maybe some of the coasters like you've ridden that are really good just to get that out of the way.
Okay, so so what I wrote, there isn't any roller coasters that I regret missing. I think
oh shoot, I did the wrong thing. I went for the most anticipated coasters.
Oh.
Okay, I guess we'll flip that. My bad. I'm sorry about that. But do you want to give your number 3?
Sure. I actually didn't write this down, so this is off the spot. Okay, my number 3 will have to go to Railblazer at California's Great America. The single rail Raptor concept looks amazing. The only thing I'm worried about is the restraints, but besides that, I mean, back row looks insane, especially on Stunt Pilot, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
And also like the first, like I think they call it a Raven dive, that looks incredible. The airtime on that looks insane, especially the second like off-axis twisted hill thing. That looks incredible. And just overall, the ride in general looks very intense, and it like flows like very well. Like probably one of the most like flowy, if that makes any sense, coasters out there.
Yes. The pacing, the flow of it is top notch. Best of any coaster I have ever ridden, probably by far, honestly. The restraints, they're not the best thing in the world, but I don't think they hurt the ride too much. But definitely a great pick for like your number 3. It's definitely one of the best coasters in California, at least for me. For my number 2, I have wait until I mention the park because this might confuse some people. Giant Dipper at Belmont Park. Not the one at Santa Cruz because I've already ridden that one. But this one's a little bit different than the one at Santa Cruz, so I'm very interested to ride it. This is the one in San Diego. I really like the Giant Dipper at Santa Cruz, so I really just want to see how this one compares. That's just kind of what I'm most interested in with this one.
Okay, so wait, are we going to number 2 now?
Yeah, 2.
Okay. So my number 2 most anticipated coaster in California, that's going to go to X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain. It would be number 1 if it wasn't so polarizing, because I feel like it's kind of hard to like know if you get a good experience or not. It's kind of hard to anticipate, really, because like I'm not sure like how intense it'll be. Of course, it'll be very intense, but like how intense, I don't know. And also like the smoothness. Some people are saying that like it can get rough sometimes. So I guess I really have to see until I really can't judge until I ride it. But besides that, X2 looks incredible, especially the drop, the second Raven turn, and that like backflip airtime hill thing. That I think that looks fun. Overall, the ride in general looks absolutely legendary.
Of course, I'm a big fan of X2, as a lot of you on the channel know. Pretty much, I mean, Jace, I think I've already told you this, and I've probably mentioned this a few times, but make sure to ride X2 in an inner seat. That way you get a pretty smooth ride. And also, I guess back row inner seat is the best way you can go. With that said, oh, and also if you're on the outside seat, the roughness will definitely get to you more. That's the reason why, pretty much. And it's not really worth it for the maybe little bit of extra intensity just for all that roughness that you get on the outside seat. So inside seat, definitely the way to go. For my number one most anticipated coaster in California that I have not ridden, pretty obvious pick here because I haven't ridden this one, but West Coast Racers at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Really the only coaster that I'm like truly, like really actually hyped to ride that I haven't ridden in California. The other two, it's like I'll get to them eventually, but West Coast Racers, I really want to go and ride it. It may not be the maybe greatest coaster in the entire world by any means, but it does look extremely fun. And I think it has the potential to be like a top 4, top 5 coaster at Magic Mountain. I can't see it being in the top 3, but I can definitely see like top 4, top 5 at the park. It looks really fun.
I agree. It does look very fun. My number one anticipated coaster in California, this is kind of obvious considering how my number 2 is X2, but it's Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain. So it is the nearest RMC to where I live. And I really want to ride an RMC because ever since I saw an RMC POV, I really enjoy like how they do their rides and how they do their layouts. It's they focus on like, or at least the hybrids, not really the Raptors. They focus on these like kind of small but crazy like twisted airtime hills and turns and I guess outward banks and inversions. Overall, the ride experience on that looks incredible and maybe even better if I get a dueling ride, but apparently that's pretty rare now. But still, I think Twisted Colossus looks amazing.
Really depends on the day you go, how dueling rides are. I mean, anyone I think would tell you that. But it is an absolutely amazing ride. I may not be as high on it as other people are, like in terms of like where I rate it, but it is an incredible coaster. And really, back when it was announced, I guess it's kind of going off topic, but I remember being super hyped for it because it was like our first RMC. I'd wanted an RMC to come to California forever. Well, maybe not forever, but for the years that we'd known that they had been around. And seeing Twisted Colossus come, that was like just a dream kind of true. And then pretty much now we're going to probably have 4 RMCs here in our state, or in my state, I guess, in the near future, with Jersey Devil Clone whenever it comes, or the extended layout, whatever it ends up being. I guess we'll move to the next thing that I was supposed to say originally. And actually, I guess I'll let you start off with this one, but what are some rides, or what is a ride you regret missing out on at parks you have been to?
Okay, so like I said earlier, luckily there aren't any roller coasters that I regret missing out on, but there are a few rides. The first one being Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout at California Adventure. My experience at California Adventure wasn't that great. Most of the rides did go down on me while I was in the line. And Guardians of the Galaxy, unfortunately, was one of them. I wasn't too far into the line. Like I never went into the building yet, but they did announce that they were having technical difficulties. The ride, see, like when they rethemed it to Guardians of the Galaxy after instead of Tower of Terror, I was expecting people to not be a big fan because like Tower of Terror is a classic, but actually I got like it was the opposite response. People actually enjoyed it. It was apparently like a very good experience. So that's why I really regret missing out on that ride. Next, this is kind of a short one. Soul Spin at Knott's Berry Farm, because I really want to ride a top scan. Like those look very fun. Unfortunately, I think from what I heard, Soul Spin is one of like the weaker top scans because like the cycle is pretty short. But nevertheless, it is still a top scan. I didn't ride it, or I missed out on it because I didn't have time to. The first day I went to Knott's, it was down. The second day I had a very limited chunk of time. Let's see. So so the third one, I have 4. The third one would have to be Simpsons the Ride at Universal Studios Hollywood. I saw like a POV of it, and it actually looks very fun. I don't know too much about it, but I do know that it looks very fun. And the fourth one, this is a classic. It's Calico Mine Ride at Knott's Berry Farm. I feel like you don't get the full experience of Knott's Berry Farm if you haven't ridden it, because like, first of all, it is the first attraction at Knott's Berry Farm. And it looks like a very immersive experience. I really do regret missing out on that. And that's it.
Yeah, Guardians, that's a tough one for sure. But at least you rode you did ride the original Tower of Terror, correct, or no?
Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't ride the original either.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Soul Spin, I haven't gotten that one either. It's either been down or I just didn't have the time, so I can kind of understand that one. Simpsons, that one's pretty fun. I've done it, but it's not one of the absolute best rides there, but definitely one, yeah, you would definitely hope to ride. And yeah, that's just definitely one that you would want to do that. And Calico Mine Ride, yeah, definitely a classic. I used to not like it a whole lot, but it's definitely grown on me a lot more as I appreciate like theming and more of that. That and Timber Mountain Log Ride have really grown on me. Timber Mountain Log Ride is like one of my favorite, I guess, like non-coaster rides out there actually. So yeah. For me, rides I regret not having ridden, I have a decent amount. I'll kind of try to roll through these quick. Disneyland, Indiana Jones Adventure. You know, when I went in 2012, I was tall enough, but I was too scared to do it because it was before I was a coaster enthusiast, and it seemed like a scary ride, so I didn't do it. So Indiana Jones Adventure, that's definitely one that hurts me, like probably one of the ones that hurts me the most that I haven't done. But, you know, I'll do it eventually. It's not something like I have no chance of riding it. Unfortunately, California Screamin' is one that I will never be able to ride. Once again, same situation. Was tall enough to ride it, but too scared to. And it's just unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I have ridden Incredicoaster, but honestly, like hearing the reviews and hearing the soundtrack, I think I would have enjoyed California Screamin' better. Yeah. Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is a bit of a weird one, but I rode Colossus backwards, but I was unfortunately never able to ride it forward. So that one, I don't think it would have changed my opinion too much on it. I really didn't like it, but maybe like a front row ride, it would have been a little better, but I don't know. California's Great America, their drop tower, their Intamin drop tower, been down both times I think I went. So that's just unfortunate. Also, I think I wasn't even going to ride them anyways. I was kind of out of time, but that's kind of that one. Cedar Point, this one I'm frustrated that I didn't get. I almost decided to put in Wilderness Run in here just because it's the first Intamin. But there was one that I really wanted to ride, and I was just so sad that I was unable to. And that is the Cedar Downs Racing Derby. It's like one of the few like it's kind of like a carousel, but it's a lot faster.
Oh, that thing. Okay.
Yeah, there's like very few of them left. There's like, I think in the US, it's that one and the one at Rye Playland, if I'm correct, are the only two left in the United States. And I wanted to ride it, and I just didn't have enough time, and I was just so upset about that one. But when I was able to ride like all the other coasters that I wanted to ride that day, I can't complain too much. Six Flags Mexico Wonder Woman coaster, wanted to ride it, but unfortunately it wasn't on the fast lane option that they had, not fast lane, flash pass option that they had there, so couldn't ride it. Ended up skipping it for Superman El Ultimo Escape for my second ride on it, so not too bad. Hershey Park, didn't get to ride any of the drop towers on the triple tower, which is unfortunate. and then Coal Cracker, which is their aerodynamics, like I guess boat ride, log flume, I guess, though it's not
that thing.
Yeah, it's old school, it's classic. I wanted to ride it, but it was raining, so I just kind of held off. And then Adventuredome Canyon Blaster. I thought I was too short for it at the time, but I was also too scared. But as I looked, I guess you had to be 48 inches, which at the time I went, I would have been tall enough. So I was just too scared to ride it, which was unfortunate. But Canyon Blaster at Adventuredome, the aerodynamics looping coaster there with the rock work. That's one I definitely wish I had ridden. So let's see what you guys got here, the viewers. Let's see. Let's see. I'm looking through what you guys have. Most anticipated coaster in California, Gold Strike. You haven't ridden Gold Striker? Wow. I'm actually surprised. Yeah, that's definitely one you need to ride. I imagine it must have been down or something. But yeah. Belmont's Giant Dipper was the last coaster you rode. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, okay. Actually, I need to go back. I skipped some. So Stamford Bridge said that Superman the ride at Six Flags New England, I think, was the one he regretted the most. I believe that's correct. Which that one's obviously pretty major, so I definitely can understand that. Twisted Colossus Joker Accelerator for the California coasters. Really, I'm surprised to see Accelerator above Tatsun X2, but X2 is definitely polarizing, so I can kind of understand that. 3 most anticipated coasters in California for Coaster Craziness, X2, Ghost Rider, and Gold Striker. Interesting list, actually. Gold Striker looks like the best at California's Great America, in your opinion. I like Railblazer better, but definitely I can see why people would think that. It is a very good ride. You'd think West Coast Racers looks better than Twisted Colossus. I don't know about that one, but it does look very fun. So, yeah. Coaster Mania missed out on Black Diamond at Knoebels. That one's not, I mean, it is unfortunate, but I mean, I guess it could be worse, I guess. Yeah. Black Diamond. Oh, it's in a weird corner of the park. I guess that kind of makes sense. So that's just how it is. Let's see. Men in Black. Oh, the shooting ride. That one looks really good at Islands of Adventure. Yeah. The Derby Racer at Ride Playland. Yeah, that's the other one that's similar to Cedar Creek. Not Cedar Creek. Cedar Downs, I think. Yeah. You skipped Acrophobia at Six Flags Over Georgia. That one, that drop tower looks really good. Anything you have to say on any of these?
Not really, but they all look like some pretty nice rides.
Yeah.
Also, there is this one person that wants you to read their comment from before.
Oh, really? Shoot. Hold on. All right. Coaster Hour. A friend of mine told me that the most underrated park in the world is Maya Lost Mayan Kingdom in Costa Maya, Mexico. Is really? I've never heard of it. I don't think they have like that much of a coaster collection. Maybe it's like really nice looking. I'll have to look into that at a later time. But that's definitely something I'll look into. It must look pretty neat, I have to imagine. Yeah, sorry I missed that earlier, but yeah. And I guess the last topic we're going to talk about. Man, this took a lot longer than I was expecting, but that's fine. Intamin website new coaster concepts. Now, I'll let you go first with this one. What I guess stood out to you, or what are some things you noticed or want to talk about with this?
Okay, I'll try to go through this a little fast. But apparently they're listing the hydraulic launch coasters as under their LSM launch coaster category. I can see why they do that, because like if they just remove LSM from the title, they think that customers could think that they're also offering hydraulic launch coasters, which they're obviously trying to stay away from. But I still find it kind of weird. Intamin Megalite is now called the Ultra Coaster. That is weird. I guess they're sort of copying the Mega Coaster for mock rides because that's sort of like the same category of coaster as the Megalite or Ultra Coaster. The spinning coaster layout, the standard one, that looks insane. It's like a triple launch spinning coaster with like inversions and an inverted top hat. That looks incredible. What else? Oh, standard launch coaster layouts. Those look they're not too good. Especially the single launch one. I get what they're doing. They're trying to be kind of like Vekoma in that they're offering these pre-made layouts that parks could buy. But still it looks all right. Also, what I found is that the new Intamin launch coaster that recently opened up in Russia is called Shred the Sewers.
Shred the Sewers, yeah. Wait, sewers or sewers? I think it's sewers.
I'm not sure. I think it's sewers, as in like sewing. I don't know. Also, Hyperion's, I'm not sure if they're saying this is like the standard layout, but on their Mega Coaster flyer, Hyperion's layout is sort of like the standard. And for the vertical lift coaster, Barracuda's layout is the standard layout. So that's pretty interesting. That's all I got.
I think some of the sample layouts we're seeing are going to be clonable. I guess really any of the layouts are clonable if anyone wants them. Well, maybe not any of them, but I guess any of the sample layouts they give, it's like if you pay enough money, if you really want it, they'll give it to you. But there's certainly some coasters that I'm more like see the sample layouts as clonable layouts and others that I'm like, I guess they're just kind of showing what it would be like Hyperion. I don't think that's going to be like something that gets cloned all over the place. That'd be a little weird. And then they like showed Millennium Force for like the Giga sample layout. I'm just kind of like, I don't think people are going to be cloning Millennium Force. But yeah, some things I noticed. If you went to the wooden coasters, they said that dueling layouts are available. Doubt we'll ever see anything of it, but they did say that dueling layouts were available. So that was something interesting. The Intamin Zack Spin, they had this layout that almost looked like an SNS free spin.
Oh, that's the next generation one.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same, but it looked extremely similar. And something else that I thought was weird, it said that they are capable of having LSM propulsion, which I guess the top, which I'm like thought was really weird, but that'd be kind of cool to see.
There is a video about it on, I think, Coaster Force.
Oh, really?
It's from like a few years ago, though.
Oh, so I guess this isn't something that's new, but I guess I figured it was. The Intamin vertical lift, basically once again it had like something that's mentioned like an LSM propulsion or even an LSM launch instead of the chain lift. They said that was that it was a possible thing, which is interesting. Made me think of Wicked for a little bit. I'm like, oh, how cool would that be if we were able to see that? And then also one of the last things it says is that the restraints, they can offer the most comfortable free-feeling restraints, which means that they can offer the lap bars on these things. Hopefully we're able to see that with Barracuda. I really hope so. And maybe eventually on Fahrenheit, that'd be awesome to see if they would put it on there. But they've already switched the restraints out once, so I don't think they're going to do it again. But if they'd want to, they can. The Ultra Coaster and the Megalite, there was a sample layout with 3 inversions, which was pretty interesting on the flyer. Basically, I kind of saw it as like their take on like kind of the like mock ride sort of like, I guess, concept that they kind of made that was kind of like a Megalite, but with inversions. I think it was Storm at Etna Land. I think I'm wrong. I may or may not be right about where it's at, but I think it's kind of taking on that layout sort of. The Intamin spinning coaster. Yeah, I thought the layout looked very interesting, like with the launches and the inversions. I thought that looked crazy. Intamin suspended coaster, they mentioned how they could do dueling layouts again, which is also interesting. But I was kind of unsure. I was kind of like, are we talking about like dueling layouts, like kind of like what we're seeing with Dueling Dragons, the new one in China? Or are we talking about like dueling layouts between 2 inverts? Because that'd be awesome if we were able to see that again. So I'd be very happy if we were able to see something, I guess, come out of that. The Intamin wing coaster said it was capable of launches, so that's interesting.
Well, I mean, I guess you can count Furious Baco, but that's like an
Oh
older
yeah,
model.
but I think they were more on the page. They were more considering like Flying Aces and Sky Rush as that model. Also, I guess Furious Baco is a hydraulic launch, so yeah. And then I put down that it seems like they're gonna have a little bit of a new focus on clonable layouts, kind of like what Vekoma is doing, and even RMC a little bit. So yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll see what the fans think or the viewers.
Yeah, we can look at that real quickly. Yeah, already. So, and then after this, we'll go to our last, I guess, chance. Actually, yeah, we'll go to our last chance for Q&A pretty much. And then that'll pretty much end the stream. So I'll look over what you guys are like, I guess, saying. Like, I guess if you have questions, hold on to them. Make a million Millennium Force clones. I just saw that. Don't some parks buy coasters with a clause that it can't be cloned as elsewhere? Probably. I believe that is a thing. But I don't know that a whole lot of parks care that much about it. I'm sure there's some coasters where they're like, they'd be super protective of it. But then there's others that they're probably like, they could care less if one's cloned halfway around the world. So, yeah. I think that's all that I saw in terms of like the new Intamin concepts. So yeah, and actually, I guess before we get into our final Q&A, I'll go into ways you can support my channel for this. If you aren't subscribed already, which I mean, if you're watching this, I'd assume you probably would be because I don't know how you'd get the notification otherwise. But if you aren't subscribed, definitely make sure to consider subscribing if you want more coaster and theme park related content. I'm actually planning on maybe doing a few videos more on theme parks specifically. I'm thinking of doing something with Universal Studios Japan and Super Nintendo World, maybe doing something on that, and also like the video if you haven't already. If you like my channel or the stream, recommending I guess the stream or the channel to a friend or someone you know would be very helpful in, I guess, helping the channel grow. And if you would like to go the extra mile, you can, I guess, share that you enjoyed or would recommend the stream or video I produce on Instagram and or on Discord. So that's pretty much that. Do you have anything you want to, I guess, say here, Jace?
So I think I said most of it. Like, I guess the best way would be subscribing and turning on post notifications. Telling a friend about 808 Coaster Life is also much appreciated. And also, what was I gonna say? I think I forget. But
it's all right.
I guess like spreading the word is probably the second best way you can help support this channel. Oh yeah. If you could, or like if there's a video, well, I'm not trying to like self-plug, but like if there is like a video on my channel that you maybe haven't watched yet, but you really wanted to, feel free to do so because I'm trying to get monetized. I don't know. But yeah, that's basically it.
And then if you guys aren't subscribed or haven't watched his videos, I have a link to his channel in the description. So you can go check him out after the stream. And also a link to his Instagram as well. So with all of that said, well, I guess a little bit of a last thing for before I go right into the questions. If you guys have any suggestions for new guests or maybe new ideas for like things we could do on the stream, let me know right now. I'll give you a few minutes to like maybe get some, or maybe I guess just a short time to give you maybe some guests you may want to see on here. And also, I guess now I would like to thank Jace from 808 Coaster Life for being on here. It's been awesome having you here. As my first guest, really, I didn't know how this was going to turn out, and it's actually gone really well. At least I think so. Really awesome that you were able to come here, and yeah, I guess pretty much I look forward to doing more streams like this in the future with new guests, and maybe even I could have you back at some point, maybe if I want to do another one at some point. Definitely will not rule that out.
Returns.
Yeah, definitely something that I will. I could definitely do that. But yeah, this has been awesome so far. So I just like to get that out there.
I think like what you said earlier, I think having Coaster Daddy on this would be very cool, especially since both of you guys have great streams that you guys do like on a pretty consistent basis. What else? Oh, I don't know.
No, you could say it. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, I already have some people. I won't say all of them because I don't want to make any guarantees. There's no guarantee that I won't say that anyone I mentioned, there's no guarantee they will be on here. But I have reached out to some people already. But you can suggest someone, or if you have someone in mind.
I was going on a little extreme side, and I was thinking airtime thrills, but I bet
that would be sick. I'd love that.
That would be incredible. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that would be awesome. Someone suggested theme park media. Oh, that would be sick. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome if I was able to get that going. Definitely someone I'll consider. For sure. Wait, you thought that I was gonna say that both you guys have coaster in your channel name? Well, I guess at the beginning, yeah, that's true. That's a good one. Stanford Bridge, I love that. Sean Flaherty, yeah. I need to make sure I say his last name correctly though. To absolutely make sure I need to practice that. But yeah, he would be awesome as a guest. The guy seems so nice. I'd love that. Definitely not the one that was just mentioned most recently. But yeah, Sean would be really awesome. I'd love that. I'll definitely, that's another one I'll consider. Like I said, I already have some people I've reached out to, so those are probably going to be the next few. But getting some ideas for future is just like really awesome. To just kind of get some ideas of who you guys want to see and what is possible and what's not. So that'd be great. Yeah, airtime thrills would be great. That'd be awesome if we could do it like before we moved out of California, because right now, like, there's not honestly a whole lot of like California coaster YouTubers. Like, I guess like in the same style as like there's a lot of theme park, and there's even like a few that like Roller Coaster Crafter. He focuses on connects, and Amusement Labs is I would consider a bit different. But yeah, that would be awesome to see. Dakota. So I would get Dakota, but not Taylor.
Well, I mean, when Talking Trimless tried to request,
yeah, I know there's no chance.
The fattest no.
The fattest no in history. Yeah, you know, I honestly like even if I would honestly, there's other channels I probably want to have on here first, or other people I'd want to have here on here first, outside of Taylor Bybee, like just because I think it's just, I think that there's some people I think I just would rather have on here just because I think they have more experience being on like other things. So yeah, that would probably be something. But yeah.
I also thought I think Parks Bros would be a great guest on
Drew, yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I love that. He follows me on Instagram, so but yeah, that would be sick. I'd love that. Another California coaster enthusiast. Midway Mayhem, that'd be a good one. Dan from Midway Mayhem. Coaster Josh, Up and Rising one, that'd be a good one. I love that. Those are definitely some good picks. I'll say that. Definitely a lot I have to think about. I think now we'll get to the final Q&A in terms of, yeah, you guys can ask us your final questions, anything you have. And that'll pretty much just bring us to the end of the stream. You can, like I said, as I mentioned earlier, you can ask questions to me, ask questions for Jace, or ask questions for both of us. Oh, theme park hunting. Yeah, that would be another good one, I would think. I just thought of someone else. Oh, no.
Who is it?
That would be an interesting experience having Itai on my stream. I just thought of him. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but it would be very interesting. I just say that. It would be something I'd actually consider. Callie, the coaster enthusiast. Yeah, that'd be another good one. Another coaster enthusiast who does live streams. So that would be another like kind of thing, kind of like how Coaster Daddy, he has live streams. Callie, the coaster enthusiast, she does live streams every once in a while. So yeah, that'd be a good one. El Toro Ryan, also, yeah, yeah, that would be awesome. I don't think that probably wouldn't be anytime soon because he's super busy right now with everything. But yeah, that's another good one for sure. Oh, okay, so here's our first question. Red on Steel Vengeance or blue and green on Twisted Colossus? Oh, so like which color scheme's better? You know what? I like Twisted Colossus better. Actually, it's not even close to me. I think that's what you're asking, like better color scheme. Yeah, I would take Twisted Colossus for sure.
I'd say yes. Twisted Colossus is definitely the better color scheme. Steel Vengeance's colors does fit the theme, but it's also pretty generic because like Twisted Timbers has it, and I guess a few RMCs also have a shade of red that's a little different. But yeah, Twisted Colossus is definitely the nicer looking colors.
What do we think about the Frozen Land expansion plan for many Disney parks? Now, to be totally honest, I do know a little bit about these. I know that Hong Kong Disneyland's getting Wandering Oaken's slide. I forget what the coaster's called, but they're getting a Vekoma coaster, and they're getting like an entire area. I know multiple Disney parks are getting them. I don't know too much about it, but I mean, I don't know that it should go to multiple Disney parks, but I think one getting like one of those expansions is definitely a good thing. I think it would be a solid franchise to do some theming around, even though I may not be the biggest fan of the Frozen franchise. I think there's definitely at least a good amount of potential you have with like that using the theme from the movies and everything. I think there's some pretty high potential you have there. So I'm all for it pretty much.
Okay. I'd say I'm a pretty big fan of all of these expansions. I personally do not like Frozen the most, but I do know that there's a lot of people who do like it. So it would probably be a great investment for Disney in general. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna necessarily add any coasters. They might. I don't know, but I think overall, especially like just the scenery in general, I think that Disney will probably make that look incredible. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, there's like just so much potential there with how they could theme up the land, make it look amazing. And I know Zach from Theme Park Media is probably very excited about this. Canada Coaster fan. I mean, yes, this channel's sort of dead, but I mean, if he would be willing to do it, that'd be awesome. I might throw it out there. That doesn't even seem like that bad of an idea. I actually think that's a good idea. Airtime Productions. Haven't watched their channel too much, to be totally honest, but definitely I've heard of them. So I like that you guys are giving me ideas. Destination Thrills, Extreme Thrills. Yeah, you guys are giving me some good ones here, for sure. Oh, is there a South American park on your biggest bucket list? Like just I guess just if I had to pick a South American park, I think it's called Hopi Hari, the one with the shuttle loop. I think that's what it's called. I guess that would be my pick because I really don't know that many of them. But it's not really, I don't have it on my bucket list. If I were going to South America, I would not go for the coasters. I'll just say that much. How about you?
I honestly, I don't know any South American parks. I'm sorry. I guess I don't really have any. I'll look into it though. But at the moment, I don't think there's any particular one on my mind.
I like how you guys are putting in a lot of requests. Some of them I can tell are serious. Some of them I can definitely tell are not. But it's so good to have options. So I like that. Let's see. Is there a park called Phantasialand with an F? Honestly, there might be, but I don't know of one. Definitely not the one like that Phantasialand we all know and love pretty much. Oh, okay. What are we expecting from Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure in Orlando? And what kind of coaster? I think that's what, yeah, would we want to see them put in Epic Universe? So, actually, Jace, you can answer this one, I guess, first, if you'd like.
Okay. So, honestly, I think once Velocicoaster opens up, at least I think that's what they're calling it, it's going to be one of the most well-rounded coasters ever. Like, the layout, first of all, is already well-rounded. There's a lot of inversions, airtime hills, intense moments, launches. It has the whole package. Plus, you have theming. It has universal level theming, I guess on the level of Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, which is also a very well-themed coaster. So I think I don't know if the layout will make it the best coaster in the world, but because it's like so well-rounded and it's like very good at like almost everything, that's what will make it one of the best coasters in the world. And for the Epic Universe, I've been thinking this ever since it was released, but an Intamin hot racer, especially should I forget the model name? The third one.
Overdrive.
Oh wait.
No, Autodrome.
Autodrome, yes.
Overdrive's the more intense one. Yeah.
But I think it might be a custom layout, but a dueling Intamin hot racer would be great for that area. I'm not sure about the capacity because I know it's single file, so it might be pretty low. I guess because it's a dueling coaster, it'll be at least a little better. Sorry if there's a yard work going on in the background.
Yeah, it's all right.
My bad. Anyways, but I think, yeah, Hot Racer would probably be a very good fit. If not, then something along the lines of West Coast Racers.
So I guess for me, for Velocicoaster, I think it is going to be absolutely spectacular. It's going to have some incredible airtime moments and some incredible inversions. I mean, that the Heartlight and roll at the end, it looks really good. And just the coaster overall looks fantastic. I'm just kind of more curious on what I am hoping the second launch is a rolling launch, and I imagine it'll be forceful. So I'm expecting big things out of Velocicoaster. Now, I don't know as much anymore if I will prefer it over Iron Gwazi, because I think I've kind of underestimated the pacing of Iron Gwazi. I mean, if that thing is consistently like absolutely hauling, then I don't know if it'll be better than that, but it looks amazing. And for Epic Universe, the Hot Racer would have been my pick, but to try to be original, you know, I guess this is a really weird idea. I don't know exactly what they're doing with the Fantastic Beasts / Harry Potter area. I don't know what the status of it is right now, but I don't know why I just thought of this. This is something totally random I just thought of, but maybe like a mock extreme spinner, but like inside a building. They could actually do some cool stuff with that now that I think about it. They could have like some storytelling, like before you either drop or go up a lift or a launch. Like, I mean, that actually could be really cool. Now that I think about it, now I want to see that, even though I just totally thought of that off the top of my head.
I will say this, Silverette, Planet Coaster YouTuber, he once made a mock extreme spinner inside of a box that's sort of checkered. And when he showed a POV, it looked so disorienting. It looks incredible. If a park could make something like that, that would be really good. And I guess I'll mute whenever it's not my turn, just so that.
No, I don't think it's that big. It's not really that big of a problem, I don't think.
Okay.
So I wouldn't do that. Thoughts on dog fart coaster? Looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. That's all I have to say, I guess, about it. What do you think?
Looks pretty legendary. That's all I'll have to say.
Yeah, there is a park called Mirabilandia in Brazil. I think it was supposed to be getting that. I may be wrong on this, but I think it was supposed to be getting that Intamin 10 inversion coaster that's going to Flamingo Land, or it was at storage there for a little bit. Then they took it over to Flamingo Land because they were like, we're not going to build this. So, yeah, I think that's how it went. Do I know the latest status of New York's Fantasy Island? Last time I checked, it will be reopening next year. But yeah. I think there's still hope, but I haven't heard a whole lot about it, so maybe not. I'll have to check that when I can. You have a question about Boomerang at Knott's Berry Farm.
Okay, I have not ridden Boomerang at Knott's Berry Farm. I'm sorry. My first time at Knott's Berry Farm was in 2017, so that was after it got removed. I went on Supreme Screen to and I was positioned on the perfect side where I was able to look at the construction site, and it was totally demolished. So it's pretty unfortunate. But I guess since it is very common, I guess I will probably ride one sometime in the future. But I know its replacement is a very good replacement.
Yeah, Hang Time. As much as I have said it's overrated and that it's not the greatest thing in the world, it's still a very good coaster and definitely a lot better than Boomerang, which was trash. I mean, let's be honest, it wasn't very good. At least in my opinion, it just was not very good. It was the worst Boomerang of the two I've ridden. So definitely, I think it's good that it got replaced by something that's actually a very enjoyable ride. So yeah, our favorite loop, I guess. I think that's what was meant to be said here. But our favorite inversion, I guess. Ooh, that's tough. You know what? I changed this kind of. I don't have a list, but off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with Tatsu's Pretzel Loop. So, yeah.
I'll have to go with Hang Time's negative G-stall loop. It's probably the best hang time moment on the ride. I guess the only hang time moment really on the ride. It was very fun. I thought it was very enjoyable for sure. But if he really wants to know my favorite vertical loop, I guess Silver Bullet. The only other one I've ridden is Incredicoaster, and that vertical loop was not good at all. Like compared to the rest of the ride, which was smooth, like once you went to that new loop section, it started to rattle. It was a very annoying rattle. I think it gave me a headache. It was not a fun experience.
That's interesting. I noticed it wasn't as smooth, but I didn't notice it was that bad. It wasn't extremely forceful though, which was a major disappointment, but the ride's still fun regardless. I guess if we're going off my favorite vertical loop, Full Throttle, like all the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like easily best moment on the ride. That is
no surprise.
Incredible inversion. And I guess top 3 bucket list German parks. I guess I'll go first. So these kind of switch, but for right now, or should I start with 3? I'm trying to remember if I think I have my 3. If I forget one, oh well. But my number 3 is Hansa Park. Looks very underrated. Looks like a really good park. My number 2, man, this is tough. Like I said, I go back and forth between these. But I'm going to say for right now, it's Europa Park, especially because Fly just opened. Yeah, I'm going to go with Europa Park. They're very close. I think they're really like 2 and 3 for like my most anticipated parks I want to go to, if that makes sense. Both behind Tokyo Disney Sea, but yeah, Europa Park is my number 2, and my number 1 is Phantasialand. So, yeah.
Surprise, surprise. I have the exact same list. Yeah, because of Fly, Phantasialand jumped on my bucket list ahead of Europa Park. Europa Park still looks amazing. I kind of treat it as kind of like Disney, but it has some good coasters. And Hansa Park, I had it on my list mainly because of Karnan, but also the park in general looks very well themed and overall looks very good.
What are our thoughts on Vortex at Carowinds? I've never ridden it, but I did ride Vortex at California's Great America, and that ride was terrible. I don't think Vortex looks as bad at Carowinds, but it doesn't look very good, I guess.
I'd say I'm not sure. It's really hard to judge because I haven't ridden a stand-up yet. But I'd say it looks below average for stand-up coasters. I heard it's rough. I wonder how it would be. I guess if they convert it into a floorless coaster, it probably wouldn't be the best either. So I don't know what the future of that ride is going to be. But overall, I'd say it looks eh.
Yeah, it doesn't look all that great. Oh, I think you answered this earlier. Yeah, but Badger State Coaster just asked if you thought that Orion was a Giga.
Yes, it is. If Apollo's Chariot is considered a hyper because its drop is 200 feet, then Orion is a Giga because its drop is 300 feet.
Yeah, I just about agree with that. So let's see. Shoot, I'm going down automatically. That's unfortunate. But let's see. It's taking me to the bottom, so it's a little annoying. Now someone's trying to call me on my phone. So that's epic. I'm trying to see what I saw something. Oh, Sanford Bridge was saying how our top 3 is the same, like all of ours, because he's actually been. So that's pretty cool. That's actually really cool.
Oh, wow.
Thoughts on the Intamin Impulse? It's a pretty mediocre model. I'm gonna be honest. Wicked Twister. It's okay. I'm not really impressed with it at all. Launches are solid, but it's just repetitive and kind of mediocre.
I'd say they look very fun. The spikes, they look very fun. Like, I like the weightlessness aspect of it, and the launches look all right. I think because you're on an invert, the launches are going to feel a little like more intense because, like, I guess your feet is going to like push back. I don't know. But overall, especially I think it's Steel Venom. That's the one that has a holding brake on one of its spikes. That looks incredible.
Yeah, Steel Venom. Yeah, it does look pretty good. Of course, the one I'm kind of curious about out of the impulses, one of the I guess I should have included this for my rides I regret missing out on, except it's never been open, so I couldn't have really missed out on it if it were open. But Flash Vertical Velocity, that one I actually want to ride. And then also the new one going to, I think it's, I would like to say it's going to Chengdu Wanda City. I may be wrong on that. But the new one that's gonna be like the tallest one, that one looks interesting just because it has a new track. But yeah, overall I'm not a big fan of them. So I guess the next 2 minutes, if you guys have any other questions, we'll answer them. If not, the stream will pretty much just end, I guess, here. So yeah, like I said, if you have any last questions, you can give them. And actually, if you have any last things you want to talk about, Jason, we can do that. If not, then we'll just, I guess, wait on questions.
Well, I don't really have much.
I only said if you had something in mind. Like it's not really. Yeah. I guess, yeah. Alrighty. So, well, if you guys have any last questions, let us know. If not, I'm gonna stop this like within like the next minute or two. So, yeah. I guess before I end this, I already said thank you, but thank you, Jay, so much for being on here. Like I said, it's been awesome having you. And let me know in the comments down below after this is over, if you liked like having a guest on here. Actually, I mean, I would think so. I certainly enjoyed it. I would say a lot more than when I mean, I do enjoy the live streams, but definitely having another person brings in a new element, a new level of excitement and energy, I think. And yeah, I guess just let us know if you like this, I guess, sort of format, because I plan on using it in the future. But yeah.
It is an honor to be your first guest. I was very excited for this because I've never been like a guest in a podcast or a live stream or really anything. I guess this is technically my first collab. So I had a lot of fun doing this. I would love to do this again. Yeah, overall, thank you for having me. And it was a blast.
Oh, okay. We do have a few questions. One of them's kind of funny. Which state is harder for enthusiasts other than Hawaii?
Well,
Alaska's pretty bad.
Yes,
I will say that.
I would say Alaska too. But it's kind of hard because Hawaii is really like one of the worst places to be a coaster enthusiast. I would say Alaska, but also some of the middle states, like the Great Plains states, some of them you're pretty far away from like any like theme park that's noteworthy or amusement park.
Is riding coasters, I guess, is riding coasters a sport?
It depends. If you want to make the sport about trying to ride the most intense coaster you can, then yeah, I'd say that could be a sport.
I don't consider it, having been in the grind doing an actual sport. Like, that was a weird way to say it. Well, ouch. And I mean, I guess I'm not insulting like credit hogging. I have to find a appropriate word for it, I guess. Um, but no, I wouldn't consider it a sport. But it's fun regardless. So yeah. Let's see. I think we got a question about. Oh wait, no, that wasn't. Oh yeah, credit count. I don't know if this might have been something in the chat, but I guess since we have the question come up, I have 94 coaster credits, and you have
20. Yeah, amazing.
20 credits in 2020. Hey, that ain't bad.
And I'm in the middle of, I think it's like my streak is 10 months without a coaster. I think nearly. Yeah, I'm in a 10-month coaster drought. It might be over a year, so
yeah.
hard times.
Yeah, I'm like right there. I'm in that drought because the last time I rode a coaster was the end of October, so I'm probably gonna reach that 1 year mark. So, which is insane to think about, but yeah, that's just kind of how it is. But yeah, yeah. All right. So I guess that's pretty much it. I don't think there's really any other questions. So thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to check out 808 Coaster Life's channel if you have not already. And I was gonna say we'll see you in the next one. That's not how I do my outro. So and I guess pretty much now I got lost. And I'll see you okay, I got it.
I'll see you
thank you all
next
for
time.
watching, and I'll see you all next time here on